We are going to hop into this one right away. I'm not going to waste any time. No time. Going to get right into the video. So Wolves and Finance put out a video that allegedly claims he knows who shot Charlie Kirk. So let's see what Wolves and Finance has to say.
I have uncovered some new information about who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk, and it's not Tyler Robinson. I've spent a lot of time researching what happened, and I think what most people do not understand about this case is how far down this rabbit hole goes. So get ready, we're going to go max.
Well, we're ready. We are ready. Not for that music, though.
We all started with the assumption that he was an innocent victim. He was a martyr. He could do no wrong. I think we all made the wrong assumption. Here's the issue. We are now at a tipping point where we have uncovered so many shady things that were going on around Charlie Kirk. It looks like there was so much wrongdoing that it is unbelievable that Charlie Kirk was unaware of at least some of what was going on. There were shady things in the financials of Turning Point, allegedly. There were violations of election laws, allegedly. There were strange connections between the staff at Turning Point and Fort Huachuca, allegedly. There was Erica Kirk's strange past, allegedly. There was just too much going on that I no longer believe Charlie Kirk was an innocent victim. He was a genius. You can tell that he was brilliant by just watching him speak. Well, he cannot be both a genius and completely unaware of what was going on around him. How could he not figure some of this stuff out? I think he not only knew about some of these alleged criminal activities, he was also involved at some level. And that changes the entire story about what happened on the day that he was murdered. In a previous video...
Okay, so Charlie Kirk is not an innocent victim. He is, in fact, a criminal and was part of a criminal organization. Oh, this guy's awesome.
I talked about Fort Huachuca. This is where they have the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence. I want to talk about this further, and I'm going to go back to the beginning, and stay with me because this all leads back to Charlie Kirk's murder. I'm going to go through some of the conspiracy theories of the last decade and try to pull out what is fact and what is fiction. I showed this photo in one of my previous videos. This is Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer in 2017, allegedly, at the inauguration night party at the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C. They are making these weird hand signals. This is generally accepted as the hand sign for okay. But many of you have messaged me that that hand sign is also known to be used by Freemasons and the Illuminati.
No, that is not. I mean, maybe it's used by the Illuminati, but that is not used by Freemasons. Or not anymore. Not that I know. What the... They just... Whatever. I'm just going to make whatever up. That's what I feel like these people are doing. My audience is stupid and ignorant. It doesn't matter what I say. As long as it sounds good, they'll believe it. No, this is not... This is dumb. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh no, it's Candace's brother. Yeah, well, to be fair at this point, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. All of her minions are more entertaining than she is. She's boring. What did she cover today? What was her coverage on today's show? Some more nothing about Erica Kirk? She, like, though, I can't imagine the episode she did today. Like, I bet the one she did Monday will get more views than the last two. I could be wrong, but I feel like the one she did Monday was at least somewhat entertaining. Bringing in her Freemason Bible that she got from the 33rd degree Mason, which you can just buy online. Like, it's so stupid. So stupid. But these guys are more entertaining at this point. I'm not going to lie. They're at least trying. They're at least trying. Candace is just She got into it with David Icke on Twitter today. I don't know if you guys are familiar with David Icke at all. But like of all the people to get to, like, are you kidding? That's where Candace is at now. David Icke is calling her out. And rightly so, to be fair. They all should be. All of those OG conspiracy theorists, because Candace isn't bringing anything new to the table when it comes to conspiracies. She's just regurgitating shit that they've came up with. She just, what, I don't know, packages it better because she talks to mommy sleuths. Like, but she has no original thought. Nothing. She brings nothing original to the table at all. I don't know how, like, I don't know how much more Candace, I mean, unless she, like, keeps talking about Freemason and stuff like that, maybe I'll pay attention, but like, I don't know how anybody's watching her anymore. She has nothing to offer. She's not going to solve anything when it comes to Erica Kirk. Now she's just going on this, like, jealous rant because, whoa, somebody said Erica Kirk should run for president or be JD Vance's running mate. Oh no, the jealousy is just going to continue to ooze out of her face. These people are at least being somewhat creative. Let's get back to it.
It symbolizes the all-seeing eye. I started looking into this. It's actually very strange. There are a lot of bizarre photos out there of celebrities and important people posing for photographs and flashing this hand sign. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never in my life posed for a photo while flashing this hand sign. Am I the only person who thinks this is strange? What is going on with all of these people taking these photos? Are they being told to do this by the Illuminati? We don't know, but I think it's kind of strange. Now, recently, I was playing a video game with my friends, and this happened.
But yeah, I've just started just drinking mostly water. I don't know. That's always a good idea, especially in like a dry environment like Arizona is, where I'm at. It's always important to stay hydrated.
What the fuck is this?
Did you see that? I flashed the same sign. Now, I swear I was not trying to send any bizarre secret message. That was just an inadvertent hand movement.
No.
I didn't even realize I was doing it. So I do
No. Don't you dare mix him in with gamers. That is no.
admit that it is possible that someone can randomly make this hand sign. But here's the difference. I was not posing for a photograph. These guys are posing with this hand sign. And it's not just one person, they are both doing it. This is intentional. The more I look at this photograph, the more I realize how bizarre and creepy it is. It's even more strange in the context of this being the inauguration party for Donald Trump. It is like they're sending a message to a secret society as if to say, mission accomplished. Keep in mind that Tyler Boyer proudly states in his bio on the Turning Point website how he is a seventh-generation Arizonan. He comes from a powerful Mormon family. So it is not unreasonable to think that he is getting involved with Freemasons even at a young age. This photograph suggests to me that both Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer were part of some secret society from the beginning.
Oh yeah, for sure. Charlie was definitely in some secret society. So this is where is this where Candace got her crap from Wolves and Finance? Because he did this video, was this like 10 days ago now or something? Is this where Candace is getting all of her stuff to go down the Freemason, secret society, occult rabbit hole? That is not a Freemason symbol. There are no Freemasons running around signaling to each other with this. This is stupid.
What is also important is that
And just because you're Mormon doesn't mean you know how many Christians are Freemasons? There's far more Christian Freemasons than probably any other religion on the planet. It's like, oh, you're a Mormon, and somehow these guys want to like make that like automatically that means you have ties to Freemasonry. Yet no, No, it doesn't at all. So because you're a Christian, then do you automatically have ties to Freemasonry? No. But people will just lap this up because they're completely ignorant.
This photograph happened before Candace Owens started working for Turning Point. This photograph was taken.
And here's an argument that they like to use, right? Candace used this too, and I completely missed it on that episode on Monday. But she'll say something like, this isn't your granddaddy's Freemason lodge. This isn't your grandpa's Freemason lodge. This isn't your typical Freemason lodge. And like, that doesn't make, okay, so then it's evil people that also happen to be Freemasons doing it. Like, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work that way, right? There's not like some crazy, like, money train that rolls up to the top and is just funding all of this crazy, evil, bad behavior. Like, we pay dues. And if you like our lodge, for example, like my home lodge, like our dues barely cover the cost of the lodge, let alone like have a bunch of money to send up the ranks to the top heads that are secretly running everything, and something that like, it just doesn't work that way. Oh, this isn't your granddad's grandpa's lodge. Like, it's makes no sense, guys. It makes absolutely no sense. Are there rich people that are Freemasons? 100%. 100%. Some of the wealthiest people in the country are Freemasons. Some of our political leaders are Freemasons. But if they're all getting together to try to control the universe, it is not because they are Freemasons that they're doing it. It's so stupid. They wouldn't need to be a Freemason to do that. Makes no sense. And it's not like, I don't know how many they keep. It's a secret society. No, they've never even claimed to be a secret society. The tagline is it's a society with secrets, and they don't have any secrets anymore because they're all on the internet.
In January 2017. Candace started working at Turning Point in November 2017. Candace Owens has been doing the most thorough investigation into Charlie Kirk's death. She says this.
Yeah, Kanye sent this now infamous tweet. I love the way Candace Owens thinks. I believe, and I am saying this retrospectively, that from that moment onward, Charlie and I were assigned handlers. Okay, this is an expression that Kanye used to say, have a handler. I thought that he was just saying that. I thought that he was referring to just Hollywood. I now very much believe that I have had handlers since 2018, and that things were done intentionally to pull me and Charlie apart.
What Candace Owens does not realize is that there is a growing possibility that her
I don't remember what episode that was from. Okay, so she thinks that there were handlers that were planted to intentionally pull her and Charlie apart. Isn't she the one that threw a big fit and said that Charlie went behind her back about some money deal and she lost all trust with him? How is that a handler's fault? She's the one who went psycho and got all jaded. Oh, the handler. It was the handler's fault. Man, that handler's not in charge of your emotions, woman.
handler was Charlie Kirk himself. If Charlie Kirk was already involved in a secret society in 2017...
Wait, what? Did he just say Charlie was her handler?
To pull me and Charlie apart.
What Candace Owens does not realize is that there is a growing possibility that her handler was Charlie Kirk himself. If Charlie Kirk was already involved in a secret society in...
Way more entertaining than Candace Owens. This is incredibly creative. Way more creative than Candace Owens could ever be. Guys, what if Charlie Kirk was her handler? I mean, kind of. Kind of. It's because of Charlie Kirk that we have Candace Owens on the right. I don't think she would have gone on to do what she did had he not brought her into TPUSA. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But the only evidence we have is because of Charlie Kirk that she has what she has today. And even continued to this point. Like, she still needs Charlie Kirk to be relevant. Otherwise, she brings nothing to the table. Nothing. This is all she has. Her close friendship to Charlie Kirk is what's keeping her relevant. As soon as she has nothing there to talk about, who cares what the hell she thinks on the war with Iran? Like, what does she know? And politics, I mean, she's burning every bridge there is. She's on the screw the left and right train. Oh, okay, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Yeah, have fun. Have fun, what, clamoring to an audience of middle of the road, I don't vote left or right? It's a pretty small demographic.
2017, it is likely that he was given the task of keeping an eye on Candace Owens. I think that Charlie Kirk was a double agent from the beginning. Candace has released a bunch of text messages between the two. Charlie Kirk says, "Are you ready for the war that's coming? We gonna fight, we gonna win, they will lose." Candace responds, "So effing exciting." Charlie says, "Yes." Candace is not gonna like me saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I think it's the truth. In my opinion, those text messages read like Charlie Kirk is trying to groom Candace Owens to become part of their secret operation. It did not work out because Candace Owens is really bad at taking orders from people. For some reason, she's just not good at following orders. I don't think she would do very well in the military. And we know the rest of the story. Candace Owens left Turning Point, and the rest is history. The bottom line is this photograph exists, and there has to be an explanation for it.
Okay, so I thought this video was going to be serious. I didn't realize it was a parody. Because this is a joke, like, and it's kind of funny, to be honest with you. Is he switching up? Is he going for like a parody angle? Because this would work. He could do that. Or, I mean, not like somebody could do that. To where they could just go completely off the wall and just push crazy, stupid ideas that you can kind of fit together like a puzzle a little bit. But it's so outlandish and ridiculous that everybody would just know that you're being funny and mocking the people who are taking these conspiracies super serious. Is that what he's doing? Because that's what it feels like.
And if you think I've gone off the deep end,
he can't be
hold
serious,
on,
right?
Because there's a whole lot more. Charlie Kirk was murdered on September 10th, 2025. On October 19th, 2025, I made a video on my working theory of what actually happened. My initial reaction was that the intelligence community was somehow involved. I saw too many similarities with the JFK assassination, which many people now believe involved people within the CIA. I published that video 1 month after the murder. We now know so much more information, and I want to update my working theory. I now believe that in the US, there's a growing conflict going on between the different intelligence agencies. In the US, you have the National Intelligence Agencies.
A growing conflict? I feel like they've been in conflict since they were established. What?
Like the CIA. Then each branch of the military has their own intelligence. CIA headquarters is in Langley, Virginia, which is only 8 miles from downtown Washington, D.C. The CIA tends to lean Democrat. We know this because of their involvement in scandals like the Russian collusion hoax during Hillary Clinton's election and the hoax about the Hunter Biden laptop.
Does the CIA tend to lean Democrat? I don't know if the CIA has political affiliation like that. I feel like the CIA is kind of just doing their own thing. They play their own games. They have their own interests. Sometimes they probably align with Democrats. Other times they probably align with Republicans. But I don't think that they lean one way or the other.
During Joe Biden's election, in both of those situations, the CIA used their power to try to swing the presidential election for the Democrats. The military is different.
Hold on, what is this? Why do you guys have to be so hard with your usernames? F3UB Heart 522. Just sure I screwed that up. Why is no one talking about Jesse on Fire's absolutely insane video he sent to the FBI about a secret code he found in some random guy's letter about how a port is being attacked? When did he put this video out? We might have to check that out. Let me know in the chat when he put that out. That guy's completely gone. That's on purpose. Jesse is doing it on purpose. He saw everybody getting those cease and desist letters, and he just was like, okay, I'm going to just go completely wacky, so that way I would have the defense that there's no way a reasonable person could believe anything I'm saying. That's my firm kind of like, having watched Jesse for as long as I've watched Jesse, he's not kooky. Like, I mean, he's not that kooky. What he's doing is completely on purpose, trying to save his ass and avoid being sued while still maintaining his audience. Because he knows if he comes out and says he doesn't believe any of this crap that's going on, he's going to lose a ton of his audience. Wanda Collins, Jesse is another lunatic. To be fair, he might be like the smartest one out of all of them because he pivoted to complete insanity. The rest of these people, like, they are in serious danger of like really being sued. And I don't think Jesse on Fire will be, just because he took this angle. So he might be the smartest one out of all of them, which is crazy because you would never guess it listening to him. I'll look real quick. Perfect. Check it. Or even if it's like, I don't know, within the last few days or whatever. Or like, hit me up with the title of the video. Jennifer Veterans for Truth. George Webb did that back in like 2017. George Webb's a nutcase. Called in a dirty bomb. It shut down port for like a day. George was arrested by that guy's an idiot. Jackie Blue says he's the only one who I actually get a kick out of occasionally. You talking about Jesse on Fire? Yeah, because he's so just out of his mind. But it's intentional. That dude doesn't believe that shit. There's no way.
They are spread out on bases throughout the country, and they tend to lean Republican. Now imagine this scenario. Military intelligence is sitting there, watching the CIA commit crimes during the Russian collusion hoax. We now understand that Obama directed the CIA to produce the 2017 ICA using the unreliable Steele dossier to claim Russia helped Trump win.
It's from 9 days ago. It's called I Have No Choice. I Have to Make This Video. All right, perfect.
Military intelligence is watching this and thinking, if the CIA is breaking the law to try to get their candidate to win, we're going to do the same thing. If you think this is not possible, do you know who convinced Donald Trump to run for president when he announced the first time in 2015? It was someone from the military. We know this because Trump said it himself in a speech.
2015, I sat with Joe at a dinner, and believe it or not, I was getting a big award from the Marines. And Joe was presenting the awards, and I had no even thought of running for president. And I said to my wife and family, look at that guy. He's a great-looking guy, isn't he? He's like central casting. He's like right out of Hollywood. But he made the great presentation that night, and I got to talk to him because I sat with him and Ellen and his son, Patrick. And I was asking Joe lots of questions about the military. He said, you really enjoy this, don't you? I said, well, I just love our country. It's very important to me. I love our country. And I said, I don't know. What do you think? Should I give it a shot? This was before it was public. He was one of the first people I asked. I said, what do you think? You think I'd have a shot? If I get it, we're going to rebuild that military. It's going to be stronger than ever before. And he helped me form an opinion. He gave me a lot of information, and he has ever since. So for that, I want to thank you and Ellen, and I want to thank Patrick. I hope I got his name right. It's a long time ago, but I think his name was Patrick, right? Did I do good?
This is the story Trump tells. In 2015, he had no idea he was going to run for president. He was at this dinner for the Marines, and he was approached by Joseph Dunford. Joseph Dunford was the commandant of the Marine Corps, which is the highest ranking officer for the Marines. He became the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under the end of Obama's term and the beginning of
So he just never paid attention to Trump ever until like 2016 then? In 2015, Trump had no idea if he was going to run for... Trump flirted with the idea of running for president for a while. What is he talking about?
Trump's. This military man told Donald Trump something at this dinner that convinced him to run for president. Joseph Dunford's background is interesting. Senior-level Marines typically attend the Marine Corps War College. Joseph Dunford did not attend the Marine Corps War College. Instead, he attended the U.S. Army War College. That means that his personal network included a lot of people from the Army. You are going to see that the U.S. Army is a recurring theme in this video. So Donald Trump starts to run for president against Hillary Clinton. And this happened during the debates.
And that's why 10 people who have had that awesome responsibility have come out and in an unprecedented way said they would not trust Donald Trump with the nuclear codes or to have his finger on the nuclear button.
I have 200 generals and admirals, 21 endorsing me.
Donald Trump said that he was endorsed by 200 generals and admirals. This was a strange comment to make. He made this claim multiple times during the campaign, but never produced a list of the 200 generals and admirals. In fact, he produced a list of only 88 endorsements by generals and admirals. The media had a field day with this, and they claimed that Donald Trump was lying. I don't think that's what happened. I think that he was endorsed by these generals in secret, and only 88 wanted to endorse him publicly. But it sounds to me like he was getting additional support behind the scenes from the military. I want to go back to this image that I showed in a previous video. This is the emblem for the 110th Military Intelligence Brigade. Gold and oriental blue are the official colors of military intelligence. Now I'm going to show you Donald Trump's inauguration speech in January 2017. Do you notice that the person standing behind Donald Trump is wearing...
What? Okay. Yeah, Trump had a lot of support from the military. Military loves Trump. Most of the military loves Trump. What are we talking about? What is this like? Yeah, okay. And? Right. Yeah. Eclipse truth. So what? Right. So what? This isn't a secret.
the colors of military intelligence.
Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning, because today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
Now, the crowd is eating this up, but I think it is significant that the person standing behind Donald Trump's shoulder during his inauguration speech is military intelligence. Then in 2017, the DoD spends $2.4 million to lease space in Trump Tower.
What? He said his inauguration speech. I'm sure there was all kinds of intelligence there. What the hell is he talking about? Ooh. I bet the Secret Service was there too. What? This is for like kindergartners, like conspiracy for kindergartners. People just that have no idea how anything works. Are just completely ignorant to, I don't know, everything.
Now, I know that the president needs extra security, but this seems a little extreme, given that Trump barely spent any time at Trump Tower during his presidency. Someone who is key to understanding what is going on is the comedian Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne!
Greetings, Earthlings, and humans, and others, and any members of the animal kingdom who like to tune in because they love my voice. They understand that finally a voice of intelligence.
You guys, all right, I'm keep it 100. Roseanne is awesome. She's crazy. She is batshit crazy, but Roseanne's cool.
Has pierced this realm of bullshit. Welcome to the Roseanne Barr podcast.
Now, she is known for saying some controversial things. A lot of people laugh her off because she is a comedian. I think we should have all taken Roseanne a little bit more seriously. She has a podcast where she interviewed Derek Johnson. Derek Johnson is a pretty extreme conspiracy theorist. His theory is that Donald Trump was a military plant. He believes that Joe Biden was executed and replaced with a body double, and that Donald Trump has been the president this whole time. That sounds pretty wild. But in hindsight, they say some pretty interesting things in this interview.
They don't realize, they think military is a part of the government. It's not. It's a separate entity.
Okay, so just to stop you here, because this is really good information. It's your
I don't watch a lot of Roseanne, but I'm pretty sure this is an old one, right? Because didn't she have like a bet going? Was it with Michael Malice maybe? That Donald Trump was in charge the entire time or something during the Biden presidency. I'm pretty sure she like admitted that she lost that and made good on that bet. I could be wrong. But I feel like if I remember right, that's what that was all about. Because yeah, Candace went, or not Candace. Well, Candace is crazy too, but Roseanne went like way off the deep end when it came to that. Like Trump is still the white hats and the little Q stuff here and there, and yeah. But Roseanne's good shit. She's just Roseanne.
your theory, right, that everything happening now the last 3.5 years Biden is president is actually a military operation conducted and controlled and ran by Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who's still the commander in chief, right?
Well, now, and I would say it too is this: that first portion, yes.
Okay.
When I say commander in chief, I want people to realize that you never. So it's a wartime president. Is the actual
Right.
term.
Okay.
Oh, well, I
So
want
he-
you to start here. Wait,
Well, yeah.
he'll answer it. But you said a line was drawn in the sand in 2016. What was that line?
But April 2016, Special Operations Command put out a publication. And inside that publication, it's got a diagram in there. And I tell people, I joke about the old pyramid schemes. You know, I used to have buddies that were getting pyramid schemes in college, and they get you the first time.
He is correct that something strange did happen in 2016. The U.S. Army published this document, the Unconventional Warfare Pocket Guide. This was published during Donald Trump's first election campaign. This guide contains something called the Sorro diagram. It shows different techniques on how to conduct unconventional warfare. The pocket guide describes this as unconventional warfare is the support to a resistance movement. The idea is to use covert operations to achieve political power.
Jacob Doctrine. So this guy Bronson, the Mason, sees hundreds of celebrities, famous people, throwing up the same symbol. But when these two do it, nothing to see here. I'm not even really sure how to respond to that. You think just every celebrity that's ever thrown up that symbol is now a part of the Illuminati? Because it's not Masons. It's not a Freemason thing. And I'm not in the Illuminati, so I can't speak on the Illuminati. But I don't think Charlie Kirk was in the Illuminati either. He supported Donald Trump, right? We got pictures and stuff of Donald Trump throwing up these goofy hand signs. Please enlighten me. Enlighten me. Generally, how photo shoots work is photographers kind of direct the people that they're taking photos of on what to do. This very well could have been a trend, just a simple trend. I would like to hear your theory. And if it's just, it's too coincidental that it must mean something. Tell me what it means. What's it mean?
Power. This is a whole list of things you can do to influence a population, and you should note that this list includes assassination. Now, I want to be clear about what is legal here. It is legal for the U.S. to assassinate someone as long as it is part of an official military operation if they can justify that national security is at
Lisa Longo 72, the Da Vinci Code was not real. It was fun, though. I liked Da Vinci Code. I liked most of his books, Dan Brown's books. I think my favorite one, though, was The Lost Symbol, just because it dealt with American history.
At risk. For instance, assassinating an Al-Qaeda leader in Afghanistan.
And they never made that movie, which irked me a little bit. That would have been the best one, and they didn't do it.
And was considered legal as part of the U.S. War on Terror. This was all explained in the official Department of Defense Law of War manual. So in certain circumstances,
Sorella.
assassination is...
This guy is too painful to watch. Compared to who? Compared to who? Which one is... which? Let's do this. We'll take a little poll. Who is the least painful one out of all of these people to watch? You tell me, and I'll focus more on them, because I think they're all pretty terrible. The biggest thing guys like Wolves and Finance have going is, I mean, this is creative. You have to give him that. This is creative. This is far more creative than anything Candace Owens has come up with.
legal. But I think anyone would have a hard time justifying that the assassination of an American citizen like Charlie Kirk would be for national security. Something like that should be prosecuted as murder in a court of law. The U.S. Army actually published a number of publications about the Sorro diagram during this same time period. Here's another example from an article.
I can't listen to this guy anymore, but I'll leave you with this. I'm just curious, before you go, if you've already left, I mean, I guess that sucks, but before you go, why did you click on the video? Just out of curiosity. Did you think I wasn't going to be completely making fun of people like Wolves and Finance, or Zach, whatever you want to call him? What did you think was going to happen when you clicked on that video? Named himself Rage Bronson like a 12-year-old from the late 80s. Good one, bro. Good one. Jacob Doctrine. Nailed it, buddy.
In 2017 in Special Warfare, which is a professional journal of U.S. Army Special Forces, also published out of Fort Bragg. So we have multiple publications of the Sorro diagram and U.S. Army documents around 2016 to 2017. This was clearly a topic of conversation within the Army at this time. The question we should be asking ourselves is why? Were they using unconventional warfare against the American people?
President Trump's the face of the operation. Beautifully because of this. He was an outsider. And then he also had a military background as he went.
Cloudy PDX. Bronson isn't even saying anything weird or crazy. He's just an idiot. They can't help it. I don't hold it against them. I understand. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine going through life with an IQ under 80. That would be tough. So I try not to pick on him too much.
The military academy, and I know some veterans struggle with that, but whatever. He was a school where he was sent off.
Yeah.
He didn't go home every day, like sent off.
He knows better than the average.
Right. He knows better than the average. He's also a brilliant businessman in other manners, and some people are going to argue with that, but whatever.
Builder.
But a builder. Innovative. He knows a lot of people all over the world. And then the people who argue with that, well, that's just whatever. There's always going to be resistance somewhere.
We can argue about whether Derek Johnson has his facts right about Joe Biden's body double and those other specifics. But I think his general concept is a legitimate question. Has there been a covert military operation going on since 2016? That is a big question.
Hey, I'm just surprised he didn't say he was unsubscribing. True. Yeah, gold star for being original, at least.
Were people in the military trying to influence the U.S. election to benefit Donald Trump? And was Turning Point and Charlie Kirk a part of this military operation all the way back in 2016, even before Candace Owens started working for Turning Point? Roseanne Barr also went on the Tim Pool podcast and said this.
I'll start from the beginning. First, we can talk about the NDAA indefinite detention authorization.
I believe that they were all arrested.
Oh, no.
I believe that they took
Oh, no, here we go.
everybody out.
Here we go. Oh, no.
Never
and
happened.
that they're playing their parts, and that we're going to see military tribunals by
That's
the end
never
of
gonna
this
happen.
year. I believe it.
You want to bet another 1,000? So the military tribunals will be public?
They already have happened.
Will they
and
be public
will-
by the end of the year?
Yes.
You want to bet another $1,000?
Roseanne,
I
I like
$1,000 on that too.
Okay, so
She says that high-level officials have already been arrested and had
Okay, so I think somebody said in the chat that Roseanne hasn't admitted to being wrong yet. That's crazy. That's crazy work. Roseanne, you need to pay up. You need to pay off because you were way off. Eclipse Truth. You'd be proud. My husband said my dinners and baked goods should be on the cover of Good Housekeeping. I'm going to need to see photos of your baked goods. I'll be the judge of that. Duke Tomlinson, Q Tardation. Yes. It was fun though. It was fun. I don't know how people like ended up so sucked into that they thought any of that was real. But it was fun. Like I enjoyed listening to him talk about it. I enjoyed hearing about it, but like to this day, I still can't believe how many people got sucked into that. You know what I mean? You didn't see me hanging out on January 6th outside of the... Like, I don't know how people didn't know that was a bad idea. I don't care like your level of support for Trump, any of that. I like it. Okay. How did you not know that was going to be a bad idea? And they still showed up.
military tribunals. She was wrong in her statement because it has never been made public. But did military tribunals happen? We really don't know. What she is calling tribunals could have just been backroom meetings where they pull in powerful people and tell them, we know what crimes you have committed. You either go along with our plan or spend the rest of your life in prison. You could call those meetings tribunals. You could call them whatever you want. But I would not be surprised if those meetings happened.
There are a lot of things we don't know about. There's a lot of things the government is doing we don't
There's
know
nothing
about.
I don't know about, honey. I am a nosy old Jewish woman, and I...
Roseanne. I know everything. Miss Riss. Oh my God, I saw the thumbnail and had to click on it because this guy has really lost it. His complete arrogance and know-it-all personality makes my skin crawl. Him and Ian Carroll are on the top of my deport list. Yeah, Ian Carroll is really... I used to like Ian Carroll. He kind of sucks. Kind of sucks now, to be honest. But, I mean, I guess the only real reason I liked Ian Carroll is because he was taking a lot of, like, underground conspiracies and kind of making them mainstream, which I thought was cool, I guess. Fun. It was fun. But most of the stuff he came up with, he stole from other people who, you know, were either deplatformed years ago or whatever the case is. But yeah, Ian kind of turned out to be a bummer.
I can get in anywhere. You
I
know
believe
what?
it.
One thing is when you're as famous and damn good looking as me, Tim, I can stick my nose in anybody's business. I know how. I'm a grandmother.
I hate Ian's phony nice guy bro shtick. I actually think what you see is what you get with Ian. I don't think there's anything extra going on there. I think what you see is what you get.
And I have stuck my nose in the thick of it this time.
In my opinion, I do not believe that Roseanne has all of her facts correct, but it sounds to me like she's talking to someone. She says that she used her fame to get in contact with a high-level military official who is telling her that something is going on behind the scenes in the military to influence the election of Donald Trump. Given everything that has been happening, I think we need to find out who Roseanne Barr is talking to. In a shocking development, Roseanne does not agree with Candace Owens about what happened during Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah, what's your take on Candace Owens?
Monster. If I see the bitch, I'll knock her the fuck out.
She loves peddling.
She loves what?
Peddling conspiratorial.
Where is all this violence coming from? Roseanne is close with all of these military contacts, and now she wants to punch Candace Owens in the face. You might think all of this is crazy.
She wants to knock the bitch out. Now punch her in the face. Get it right. Get it right. How can you not
But
love
I hope
Roseanne?
that you realize that there are people out there who talk openly about the military overthrowing the U.S. government.
I got to start
When
paying
I was in
attention to
DC
Roseanne again, guys. Roseanne's has been off my radar for so long. I had no idea she said that. Yeah, W Roseanne, for sure. W Roseanne.
a few months ago, meeting with the Justice Department, I went out and did some live streams. People saw these, millions of views at the monument everywhere. And I would have the National Guard come over, and we turn the cameras off. They would talk to us, and it was every National Guard group. I talked to 6 or 7 groups when I was there for 3 days.
That was kind of a weird, like, here, we need to talk to Roseanne because all of her predictions about inside military tribunals and all this stuff never came true. So we got to know who she was talking to because she must know something, even though it never happened, even though she was completely wrong about it all. Like, oh yeah, no, we need to talk to her. She's got somebody on the inside, clearly.
Men and women, old and young, Hispanic, black, white, all of them said, we're listeners. We've already been told by our commanders that the Democrats are planning an uprising and a civil war. We know this, we're just being soft.
Lisa Longo, Zach needs to calm down. Roseanne isn't going to actually, I wouldn't put it past Roseanne. Roseanne gives no fucks. I wouldn't put that past Roseanne at all.
Deployed ahead of what's coming. That is the enlisted lowest level. So the Democrats better know your dog ain't hunting. I mean, the military gets it, at least at the enlisted level.
That is Alex Jones. Alex Jones loves conspiracy theories.
Yeah, there it is, the gay bomb.
So do you.
Look it up for yourself. I mean, this is what do you think tap water is? It's a gay bomb, baby. And I'm not saying people didn't naturally have homosexual feelings. I'm not even getting into it, quite frankly. I mean, give me a break. You think I am like, shocked by it, so I'm up here bashing it because I don't like gay people? I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
That never gets old. Alex Jones is a national treasure. That never gets old.
Do you understand that? Serious crap. I'm sick of being social engineered. It's not funny.
There has never been a conspiracy theory that Alex Jones does not like, until the Charlie Kirk murder. For the first time that I'm aware of, Alex Jones has come out and said that everyone should just trust the government.
No, I don't think Alex Jones liked the Sandy Hook one either. I'm just going to throw that out. Just a shot in the dark, but something tells me Alex Jones is not a big fan of the Sandy Hook conspiracy either.
It's a black hole. Candace, I'm worried about you. I care about you. And you're only digging the hole deeper. Most people 3 weeks ago agreed with you because there are a lot of questions about Charlie. It needs to be investigated. Okay? And it exploded your show. It was already huge. Okay? Now most people think you've gone crazy.
I find this reaction very strange. Alex Jones is taking the government side. This has convinced me more than anything else that something is going on here. And just like Roseanne Barr, Alex Jones has high-level contacts with the military.
I've had some high-level folks in Army Special Operations call me 2 days ago saying that they're getting major intel that there are hit teams out with a high priority to kill me and others.
Okay, so you have these big talking heads, right, who have a very large audience, okay, who push conspiracies. If you're an intel agency, you don't think that they're going to have people that reach out to people like this and feed them incorrect information, that feed them false information. They mix in some truth with some lies to get whatever narrative they want pushed. So they've got the mainstream media, right? They can push whatever narrative they want to push there. And now they come in and they infiltrate these talking heads and they get them to push what they want them to push there. Yeah, I'm sure Alex Jones has some high-level contacts in the government. I'm sure they all do. It's kind of the game they play. Not the talking heads, the government. Like we're all at least on the same page there, right? I don't think anybody's, I mean, maybe people are still ignorant to that whole idea, but yeah, they're going to have contacts in military, in the government, feeding them information. It's kind of the game they play. It's called propaganda. So stupid.
I want you to consider how bizarre this is. He says, I've had some high-level folks in Army Special Operations call me about threats on his life. He didn't get a call from the police or the FBI. He got a call from someone high up at Army.
Mama Owlbear says, just over from Gary's channel, you need to explain Freemason to him and Artie Trolls. I don't, sounds like a lot of work. Sounds like a lot of work.
Army Special Operations. That is strange. That does not usually happen. What kind of relationship does Alex Jones have with the military where he gets these one-on-one communications? I think it is worth revisiting QAnon. This is something that happened. We don't know all the details, we don't know who was behind it, but QAnon did happen.
Lace 71421. I said the same. The dumbest thing you can do is expect the government to lie. We know they have and do, but the best curveball would be honesty. At this point, it would matter. It would matter. We've been so just completely misled by mainstream media for so long and so lied to from the government for so many decades that even, you know what I mean? So we can't trust them. And now we go on social media and we try to get our news because we think the alternative media are all in it for the truth and they're telling us the truth. No, it turns out they kind of fall under the same problem that our mainstream media does. And that's they're being told false information by people who want them to know the false information. And then they're also doing whatever gets the most clicks. Whatever gets the most clicks in the engagement. So they've been captured by their audience, just like mainstream media, just like every media. Like, we're screwed, guys. We're cooked. We are cooked. We wouldn't know truth at this point if it hit us in the face.
Between 2017 and 2020, leading up to the election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, someone using the codename Q began posting information online. They used the name Q because they claimed to have a Q-level security clearance, which is the
Mama Owlbear says they really thought it was freaky. Most people over there, though, the freaky talking points about Freemasons. They need to know what we know. Who thought it was freaky? They thought Freemasons were freaky? Is that like my new mission now on the internet to make sure people stop thinking about Freemasons as freaky, and what they should really think about them is that they're just a bunch of dorks? Because it's like, I wish it were more deep than that, guys. I really do. Trust me. Like, I wanted it to be more deep than that, and it's just not. It's just a bunch of dorks.
top secret clearance used by the Department of Energy. The best explanation I have heard of QAnon was from Jacob Chansley, who became known as the QAnon shaman.
I don't know what QAnon is. All I know about QAnon is they say you're a QAnon person, and they say that QAnon's a right-wing thing, and the only time I ever hear about it is on CNN.
Let's break this down. Q is a psychological operation. In order for mass formation hypnosis to occur, that 25 to 30% of the population has to gain some sort of heightened level of radicalism where they scream the loudest and then they get a hold of the levers of power, right? Now, when it comes down to stopping this process from happening, all you need is 5% or more of the population to not become hypnotized and say, no, this is ludicrous, you are nuts, we are not doing that. Now, we've seen the effects of mass formation hypnosis, critical factor bypass, and neurolinguistic programming in Nazi Germany. We saw it with the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia and the USSR. We saw it in the Red Revolution in China and the Chinese Communist Party, okay? So we've seen the effects of this process, and it is psychological warfare.
What he is saying is that he believes that QAnon was a reaction to Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird is well documented. We know it existed.
Some people thought Q was Trump. Yeah, I heard some people think it was Steve Bannon too. I've heard all kinds of theories. And then I watched that stupid Q documentary that they did on HBO. That was terrible.
It was a CIA program to influence the US mainstream media. In 2013, Obama signed a law called the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. Within the scope of normal CIA operations, they create propaganda materials for foreign countries. This new law removed restrictions so that the US government could now share these materials with the US media. People will criticize this claim by saying that we don't know for sure if the CIA is doing this. And that is true. We have no idea what the CIA is doing. I cannot point to any specific examples of people at ABC or CBS who are spewing government propaganda. But it is in the law. You can go read it for yourself. We just don't know to what extent it is happening.
So Q is this person who's posting questions.
I don't think it's a person. I think it's a group.
So Q is a group that's posting questions on fora like 4chan or this other one.
Acun, yeah.
Acun. And you're saying that that is a PsyOp from the highest levels of government.
Or I would say most likely highest levels of the military.
Okay.
Because military intelligence and the intelligence community tend to work together.
Sure.
Now, what led me to that conclusion is...
Okay, just back on the Freemason topic, quick thing. This Q shaman, I don't know. I watched quite a few stuff, and then after he got out from jail, like I listened to him a little bit. Anybody who went this far with anything, like it's kind of a red flag for me. Is that fair? I think that's fair. Anybody who takes anything to this level, it's red flag, big red flag. But Freemason stuff, let me just break this down for you guys, okay? Think of a room full of men, all right? A lot of them older men, like 55 plus. Obviously, there's younger, there's middle, okay? Now think of a bunch of older men in a room, all right? We call them rituals, okay? And at Lodge, we go through our rituals, and a lot of it involves people memorizing lines while we act out these rituals, okay? Now think of a room with a bunch of dudes wearing costumes, acting out rituals, trying to remember their lines and acting out their lines and screwing them up all the time. What does that sound like to you? If you answered a bunch of dorks, you would be correct. You would be absolutely correct. Not a bunch of evil people doing evil magic. It's a bunch of dudes trying to memorize some lines and carry out our little plays and screwing them up and laughing. And it's not. Oh, it just drives me nuts. Well, that's not the real Freemasons. The Freemasons are the ones you don't know about in the higher, no, it's not. I really wish I had a better answer. I do.
Is the numerical code in the Q drops themselves and the gap code between...
Jackie Blue 6116, rituals sounds odd, Bronson. Well, if you look up the definition of what a ritual is, it's not an odd thing. Many people have rituals. Maybe they don't use the word rituals, but almost anything old that's been around a long time has rituals. The church has rituals. The Boy Scouts have rituals. The Girl Scouts have rituals. I'm sure there's all kinds of, I don't know. The military has rituals. But you wouldn't think that it would sound weird there. But because of all these conspiracies over time about Freemasons and secret societies, right? I say the word ritual and you think creepy or odd. And it's not your fault. It's because of it's because of the internet. The military, there are things in the military that you don't know, that you'll never know. Would you consider that a secret society? Would you think that their rituals are odd? Because to be fair, the military runs more shit than Freemasons. Well, unless, of course, a Freemason. I can't recall the last president who was a Freemason. I can't recall. But do you guys remember, what was it? Skull and Bones, the Skull and Bones thing, right? Where there were like these dark, deep conspiracies about Skull and Bones and how like all of these presidents were a part of Skull and Bones. And there was like, I have a feeling that's knowing what I know now, being a Freemason and all the conspiracies that were completely wrong. Like I'm sure that the Skull and Bones thing is not anything other than just a bunch of wealthy kids getting together and messing with each other.
Between the time that Trump would tweet something and Q would do a Q drop, and what is called the Q clock.
Yes, every time you go to church, there's a ritual. And don't confuse ritual with religion. Wow, I gotta not stop here. Okay. Don't confuse ritual with religion. Religion has rituals, but that does not make it a religion if you have rituals.
Drops were doing was very, very similar to the way military intelligence communicates. And this is how it is that you're able to communicate a message in plain sight without the enemy knowing what exactly it is that you're saying, because it's all encrypted, it's all encoded.
This is the story.
Case in point, Ramza B fan just made, my uncle Gino was in a secret society. He was a good guy, a friend of ours. I just caught the friend of ours thing. Case in point, the Cosa Nostra. They have rituals. They are not a religion. Motorcycle organizations have rituals. They are not a religion. Jack Craig, yeah, but when was the last time someone stumbled into a Freemason high-level secret meeting? I don't know. Good question. I have no idea, but I can assure you, if during Lodge somebody were to just stumble in and peeked in the door, they would be like, what the fuck is going on here? And if they hung out for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, they would go, oh, okay, it's just a room full of dorks. But like, if you just walked in during like I could see, like, it would make sense to me. Like, you would be like a little taken back, at least. Everybody has clothes on, guys. Don't get the wrong idea. But I could definitely see how you would be like, that would actually be funny, now that I think about it. If somebody just stumbled in during Lodge and just walked in. Like, hey, can somebody tell me where the bathroom is? Oh my God.
Of QAnon. The CIA was using Project Mockingbird. They were feeding propaganda to the media in an attempt to influence the election for Joe Biden. Military intelligence responded with QAnon to try and influence the election for Donald Trump. These were competing psychological operations aimed at the American people, allegedly. We all know what happened in 2020. The mainstream media announced Joe Biden was the winner of the 2020 presidential election. The people listening to QAnon believed the election was stolen. This resulted in the protests at the Capitol.
Verifier. Remember, the only media outlet with a 100% verification record was WikiLeaks. Yeah, that didn't go well, did it? That did not go well.
What I am saying is that I believe that all of this was orchestrated by the intelligence agencies, and we, the American people, are the victims. If you do not believe me, let me remind you of something.
Do the Freemasons still wear the weird hats? Freemasons generally don't wear hats. I think you might be thinking about the Shriners, in which case, yeah, they still wear the weird hats. That's like a huge part of the identity of a Shriner. is the Shriner hat. But I don't know. I'm not a Shriner. I did not join the Freemasons to become a Shriner. Probably never will become a Shriner, just because those guys have way too much fun.
Something. There is roughly 2 months between Election Day in November and when the new president takes office in January. During this period, Donald Trump made very few public appearances. In fact, in 2 months, he only made 5 public appearances. One of those appearances was to go to West Point for the Army football game.
Verify, you're wearing a hat right now, dude. Touche. Touche. But this is with like, I can't imagine if we had hats that they would be scally hats. That would be, I mean, that'd be cool, but I don't know that that would be the case. GS70 sent a $10 super chat. Wolves and Finance using allegedly just proof they are full of shit. That's his like way to skirt around being sued. It's such a like, that doesn't work. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not a defense for defamation or libel to just put the word allegedly in front of everything or after everything. Like, I don't think that'll work. But for whatever reason, this accountant thinks that'll be effective. Thank you for the super chat.
On December 12th, 2020. This is very interesting in hindsight, given what we know. I want you to watch this footage and tell me what you see.
At Stay Beth, Scottish Rite wears a funny hat too. Well, I am not part of Scottish Rite, so I am not sure. I have not made that leap yet. I probably will join the Scottish Rite just because that's how you get past the 3rd degree Master Mason to go to 4th to 32nd degrees. But that's a commitment that I am just not ready to make.
Does this look like a man who was just defeated in an election? Because it looks to me that this is Donald Trump telling the army that no matter who is in the White House, that he is still the army's president for the next 4 years.
Verifier, I named my son Mason. I'm locked in. Locked in. Ready to go. Might as well hit the lodge up. Is this copyrighted music? God, man, why did they do this? We really don't need all that.
What do you think? Because I think that it is telling that out of the few public appearances that Trump makes, he decides to go to the Army football game. And then we saw what happened during Joe Biden's inauguration. They brought in the National Guard to lock down Washington, D.C. And as Joe Biden's motorcade was driving through the city, large numbers of the military were turning their backs to the president's car. Now, when this video started going viral, a spokesperson for the National Guard released an official statement saying that the troops were not turning their backs in protest. These National Guardsmen were on duty with a mission to protect the president against potential threats. Some are facing out to ensure the safety of all. What do you think?
What do I think? I think that if the troops were turning their backs in protest against the president of the United States, I can't imagine that would have gone well for them. Can't imagine that. That's what I think. I think you have to be a complete moron to think that there's just a bunch of soldiers who were turning their backs to the president of the United States, the commander in chief, in protest, and not facing serious repercussions for that. Does this guy, he just has no clue, right? There's no way he's this stupid. Like that would not go well for them at all.
Let me know in the comments. If there is anyone who knows about the military, do these soldiers look like they are facing away because they are looking for danger? Now I know that people are going to criticize me in this video for getting into conspiracies, but I don't think I'm saying anything that is too far-fetched. 1. The military.
I don't know if people are going to criticize you. That would be like taking you seriously. No, they're just going to make fun of you. They're not going to criticize you. That's too good of a word to use. Mock you.
Military convinced Donald Trump to run for president. 2. There's infighting among intelligence agencies. 3. People within the military wanted to influence the election. 4. Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer have a strange photo flashing hand signs. 5. There is evidence Turning Point was violating election laws. 6. There is evidence of financial irregularities at Turning Point. 7. Turning Point has multiple employees with connections to Fort Huachuca. And 8. Fort Huachuca is the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence. This is the definition of a conspiracy. The only question is, how far did this conspiracy go? Did the military actually break the law to try to influence the election for Donald Trump?
Nikki 5960 Jay Witt. Did I miss a Jay Witt? Is he in here? Not sure if he. Anyway. Green hearts in the chat, everybody. Love Jay Witt.
Now, with all of this in mind, let us revisit what happened on the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. I'm going to show you 3 things that most people have missed.
Good stuff.
Number 1, the van. On the day of the shooting, there was a black van pulled up right behind Charlie Kirk's tent. This is a breakdown given by a small YouTuber, Algiest Nydream.
And then it's Kirk himself who starts the countdown by tipping his nose. The trunk opens, Turk confirms by tipping his cap in his ear, and the bodyguard also gives his affirmative signal.
I'm going to freeze this frame. I'm not going to show the actual shooting because this is on YouTube, but this is the moment right before.
Philip Tabarick says, guy seems homosexual to me. Red flag for leftist. Red flag for leftist. I'm assuming you meant. Red flag for hated Charlie. Yeah, I don't think he's straight. I don't think so.
Before the shot happens. In the background, you see the black van. Someone opened the back of this van moments before the shooting happened. Then we also see the bodyguard, Dan Flood.
Yeah, this is crazy. He's actually going back to the whole, they were doing hand signals and giving out signals. What is this? Like, they have nothing, guys. They're going to have to keep regurgitating this stuff. Candace knows this. That's why she's doing this stupid shit with secret societies and then the Erica Kirk. I'm going to dig into Erica Kirk's history because they don't have anything. They have nothing. You know what I mean? We know that because we pay attention. The evidence is incredibly against Tyler Robinson. We know that. They don't know that. And by they, I mean the audience, their audience. I think they do. I think, like, if there isn't more evidence than this guy's video right here that this is just one big grift, I don't know what more evidence these people would need. Like, this is retarded. And I know I like using that word, but I really mean it when I use it. This is insane how anybody could watch this and be like, oh, holy crap. This guy's making total sense. It really is. This is like kindergarten level conspiracy theories.
Doing some kind of hand sign right before the shooting happens. Now let us go right after the shooting.
In the meantime, they also close the trunk to hide its content from the spectators fleeing the stands. 19 seconds after the shot, we can observe the trunk closed.
19 seconds after the shot, the trunk is closed. Excuse me? Am I the only person who finds this suspicious? So there's a shooting going on, And someone who had just opened the trunk says to themselves, while everyone is running for cover, I'm going to shut the trunk of my van. I find this extremely suspicious. Number 2, the audio. This same YouTuber took audio from the different
Continued freedom. What's up? Hey, if you guys aren't, I'm sure you already are, but if you're not, you guys should definitely go sub to Continued Freedom. This robotic accountant who doesn't blink, he freaks me out, dude. I want to tell him Red Bull and Adderall will rot your brain. It's definitely Adderall. Definitely Adderall. It's got to be. Or maybe it's just straight up meth. Who knows? Who knows? Might not even get the good clinical stuff. Might be getting the... Never mind.
Camera angles and used it to triangulate the trajectory of the bullet.
I looked at all the clips that had a good enough quality to analyze them with the software Audacity. Then I calculated the angles, distances, and crack thumb deltas.
According to his calculations, the bullet from the top of the Loci Center could not have hit Charlie Kirk, but in fact seems to be traveling straight towards the back of the van. This analysis has been repeated by multiple people. Here's another small YouTuber, Jordan Henshaw, who performs the same calculations in a graphic simulation.
Okay, so this software is basically doing exactly what all...
Jordan Henshaw. This is the one, I don't know if you guys caught this on X or not, but he was the one who did that like video where he had like, I don't even know, he rigged something up and was like, look, this is proof that Charlie Kirk wasn't actually shot. It was something else. And it was just something rigged up to like make his shirt bounce up. Like, oh, you did it, dude. You nailed it. Proved it. You proved it.
Jace did, only it's in real time.
Okay, here's the tent where Charlie Kirk is at. Here is the van.
The Eclipse Truth. That's funny because Gary actually went there. Yeah, Gary went there. And not only did he just didn't just go there. Him, CJ, those guys put together a like almost a 100% accurate 3D model and then gave it to the public and were like, here, you guys could go ahead, play around with this. Take a look for yourselves. It's funny. I'd be curious. I wish I would have paid more attention when he released that just to see how many of these conspiratards actually used that 3D model and made a video going through it. Did any of them? I don't think anybody did they? Maybe Trigger Smart did, but I'm not 100% sure. Craftsman Ethos with the $5 super chat. Triple Lindy shot. I called it. Rodney was involved. AM, a couple did. Well, that doesn't help me. You got names? Miss Riss. Oh, the random guy in YouTube said it. How silly of me. I should have known. We'll pull that back up. Craftsman Ethos, thank you for the $5 super chat.
As I drag the little crosshairs right there, it is computing the error between predicted values and actual measured values for Charlie Kirk shot versus the van shot. Doing this in real time. And over here on the right, you can see the amount of error. And over here, this is...
Faith and Freedom just joining. What did I miss? Nothing. You have missed literally nothing. I know that there's like, I don't know. How long have I been live? Hour something? Hour and 40? Hour 30? Something like that? I don't know. You have missed nothing. Nothing.
Simulating the mock cone visually.
That's how bad this video is.
And what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the mock cone to hit the camera or the microphone. Then I say set crack. And then I wait for it to hit. Then I wait for the thump sphere to hit the microphone. And I say set thump.
So according to this, someone opened the back of the van, someone shot into the back of the van from the top of the Loci Center, and then they closed the trunk. That leaves the question, what happened to Charlie Kirk? According to the audio, it is not possible for Tyler Robinson to...
I think that leaves more than just the question of what happened to Charlie. What were they shooting in the back of the van? Why were they shooting at all? They're just going to shoot. you could just have a blank. You wouldn't even need to shoot around. Why the hell would you shoot around it? Like, no, that raises a lot of questions, not just what really happened to Charlie.
Have shot Charlie Kirk. Now, these YouTubers are speculating that the death was faked, but I think it is more sinister than that. There was way too many people who wanted to seize control of Turning Point. Number 3, Brown Shirt Man. There was a man in the crowd I'm going to call Brown Shirt Man. I want to give credit to all the internet sleuths who have been talking about this. I want to especially thank an internet sleuth named Jeff Renz for putting a lot of this information together. And also thank you to another internet sleuth, Dave from Kansas, for helping me research this. Also, I have to give credit to journalist Stu Peters, who's one of the first people to talk about Brown Shirt Man.
Yeah,
Here's
right.
another angle of the shooting.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
I am blacking out Charlie Kirk. This is the moment of the gunshot. Who is this guy? My understanding is that this is someone named Rick Cutler. I have not seen this man in video of other Charlie Kirk events, so it appears that he is a new member of the security team. But if he is in security, why would he be stationed behind the barriers? Am I the only person who thinks this is suspicious? He's wearing a brown shirt. I would say he's 30 to 40.
This is a video from 10 days ago. Air Jeff says, is this new? This is old conspirator theories. Yeah, no, this is video from 10 days ago. I don't know if he's like, it kind of seems like he's rehashing some old stuff and bringing like a new angle to it. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting at the moment, but we'll see.
40 years old. He looks like a military guy. You know how people in the military have a certain look? Brown Shirt Man looks like a military guy.
This guy doesn't know anything about anything, let alone security. You should have heard this fool talking about military stuff just a few minutes ago. It's terrible. Or if you were here, then you did. But just in case you just got here. Yeah, this guy's an idiot. He's creative, though. If his audience are, kindergartners.
Here's another close-up of the Brown Shirt Man from the event. You can see he has a unique tattoo on his arm. This person right here is Frank Turek, who is a pastor who works with TPUSA Faith. A lot of people have been wondering why he's holding his cell phone this way. Frank Turek claims he was on FaceTime. This does not look like a FaceTime call to me. This looks like he is recording video footage. These are 3 angles. Just so you can understand where Frank Turek is. Frank Turek is pointing his cell phone camera directly at Brown Shirt Man. So I started looking more closely at Brown Shirt Man. Something that strikes me as odd are these sunglasses. These are massive, bulky sunglasses. I realize that military men tend to like to wear large aviator-style sunglasses. But even for aviator sunglasses, these are pretty bulky. The lenses are big, the frames themselves are really bulky.
What is this AI photo of this dude? What is this shit? His glasses are big and bulky. It's sunglasses, dude. It was sunny out. What is he talking about?
I bring this up because one thing you would want in a high-profile assassination is a laser sight on your gun to make sure you do not miss the target. One thing that militaries use is infrared lasers.
Okay, so you're gonna... Yes! Yes! So he clearly has no idea about firearms whatsoever as well. Yeah, I'm gonna bust out this infrared laser, guys, on a bright sunny day because I need a... Holy... Yes! That was awesome. I'm so... Oh, perfect. I really like it when these... Because they have to have... Somebody in their audience has to have some type of experience when it comes to at least firearms. So any guys these guys try talking about firearms anytime they try, I feel like they give themselves away. Like anybody who's, even if you're bought into this whole thing, if you listen to this guy and you know just even a little bit about firearms, you're going to listen to that and go, oh crap. I don't think I can take this guy's word for anything.
These are lasers that are invisible to the human eye, but can be seen when viewed through IR glasses. Now, normally, IR glasses are massive goggles. But this is something that we know DARPA has been working on. DARPA is the top secret research and development group for the US military. They've been working on something called the Envision program. These would be normal-looking sunglasses that can see IR lasers even in full sunlight. Here's what it would look like. You can see the laser sight here. So someone could aim their laser sight at Charlie Kirk's neck, and no one would be able to see the laser except for the person wearing the special sunglasses. I think these...
Okay. Firearm guys. Or girls, ladies in the chat. You gonna aim for the neck? Got this awesome technology. You aiming for the neck? That's where you're aiming? Really? I keep saying it. The fact that Charlie was shot where he was shot, to me, is an incredible piece of evidence that this was not a professional hit in any way, shape, or form. And I don't think Tyler Robinson was aiming for the neck. I think Tyler Robinson missed what he was aiming for. This is insane.
Sunglasses look very suspicious, and someone should inspect them. If we continue to watch Brown Shirt Man, I also find the way that he is standing very strange. Who stands this way? If you were at the front row of an event, would you stand like this? It looks like he's bracing himself with one hand on the barrier and then using his arm to steady his other hand. If we zoom into a close-up of his hand, his fingers are spread slightly apart, and it looks like something is poking through his fingers.
No.
The thing poking through his fingers is aimed in a direct line to the bullet hole in Charlie Kirk's neck. Does anyone find this suspicious? Something that assassins are known to use is called a palm pistol.
No way.
This is a small circular item you can hold in the palm of your hand.
Okay. Are we, I don't even know what to say, guys. We're back on palm pistols. I thought he was going to have like a new idea to this. We are really just regurgitating palm pistols. That was like debunked like within the first few days. What the hell is this? There's more to this video. There's like 7 more minutes. What?
You would let the barrel of the gun poke out through your fingers, just like what we see with Brown Shirt Man. And you fire the gun by twitching your hand because your palm activates the trigger. I have to say that people have other theories as well. Some people suspect that the twitch of this man's hand is not pulling a trigger mechanism, but instead detonating an explosive device in Charlie Kirk's lapel microphone. But with either theory, people are starting to notice that the movements of Brown Shirt Man look suspicious. If you still do not believe me, take a look at this. 5 minutes before the shot happens, Brown Shirt Man gives a hand signal.
Here you have the shooter signaling to someone else saying, 5 minutes until the shot. And look carefully who is watching the signal. Watch again. Here the man in the blue shirt turns on his video glasses. I only know this because I have the same glasses. A minute later.
Well, this video is super well done. Yeah, this proves it, guys. It's amazing video right here.
He signals 4-minute mark.
So Brown Shirt Man is counting down to the shot. He signals 5 minutes, 4 minutes.
GS70 Stealth says, if I was the Wolf in Finance, I would have fired this guy before being hired. I haven't even like bothered to look. Like, I got as far as this guy's name is Zach, and I didn't even bother looking any further into this. So I don't even know, like, is he not Wolves in Finance? Is Wolves in Finance something else and he's just like a part of it? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know the lore to Wolves in Finance. I just assume he's Wolves in Finance, and I might be completely off with that. AM says he owns Wolves. What is Wolves in Finance? Finance. Whatever it is it a business? How are they still in business? How is this possible? Like, I wouldn't want this guy I wouldn't even want him doing my taxes. Let alone like being an accountant for like my business or something. Who hires these people? It can't be going well if he's making YouTube videos like this, right? Thank you for the $10 super chat, GS70 Stealth.
Then gets into position where he raises his hand to his arm. Am I the only person who finds this suspicious? Come on, people. He's literally counting down 5 minutes before the shot takes place. Dan Flood does the final hand signal, the van trunk opens, the shot goes off, and Charlie Kirk falls down. Then after
Jenny Kenny, I'd let him do my taxes. He looks sneaky as heck. I wouldn't. I feel like he would definitely try, but he's too stupid and probably gets caught. You can be shady and stupid. I would want the shady and smart guy. He is clearly not that.
the shot, Brown Shirt Man runs over to Charlie Kirk and kneels down next to Brian Harpole. They carry Charlie Kirk's body into a nearby SUV. Do you notice anything strange about this photo? In the back pocket of Brown Shirt Man, we see the shape of what looks exactly like a palm pistol.
You know what else that looks like? Looks like some nicotine pouches. Maybe some, I'm not going to say any brands, but, or a can of mints. It's probably nicotine pouches. Probably nicotine pouches.
Does anybody find this suspicious? Can the Brown Shirt Man please explain what was in his pocket? Because it looks like to me like he has the outline of the murder weapon in his back pocket. Now, to be clear, I cannot say for sure that Brown Shirt Man murdered Charlie Kirk. This is all circumstantial.
Remember the teabag, says CJB34. I do. I knew that's when it's tough to say, but Baron Coleman's response to that was everything I needed to know about Baron Coleman and what Baron Coleman really thinks.
Substantial evidence. I'm trying to figure this out from the limited video footage we have because the police is not investigating this. There are other people with credible theories about what happened that day. For instance, another investigator, Baron Coleman, does not believe the palm gun theory, and he thinks some form of electrocution was used. We do not have all the details, and I am still open to other explanations about what happened. But my opinion, even if we don't have all the facts figured out, this looks like a full-scale military operation. We need a full investigation. We need congressional hearings. One of the questions everyone keeps asking is why Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, is not investigating any of these leads. Why isn't he looking into Brown Shirt Man? Why isn't he investigating Turning Point? Why isn't he looking into Fort Huachuca? I believe he's...
So, I mean, I'm sure they're probably not, but how does he know that they're not? I'd be really curious, like how do these people know who has been investigated and who hasn't? The Eclipse Truth. But will you accept Tyler Robinson when it's proved? No. No way these people will. Or best case scenario, they'll be like, we always said that we thought that he was involved somehow, but he wasn't the one who did it. He wasn't the one who planned it. So, and that's best case scenario.
Ignoring all of these leads, because if he starts looking into any of them, it will reveal that this is part of an ongoing military operation to interfere with US elections and benefit Donald Trump. That is why we are not getting justice.
They will always continue to move the goalposts. They'll have to if they want to keep the grift going. And you're not going to get any of these people to come out and admit they were wrong. That's not going to work.
This looks like it has been going on all the way back to that photo in 2017 with Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer. Republicans liked this idea of QAnon because it made them feel like the military was going to help them win the election. But the idea was that once Trump took power, he was going
Air Jeff, please tell me this video has low views. I guess that's all relative. But I wouldn't consider 300,000+ views to be low views.
to dismantle big government
But that's
and
just
give
me.
the power back to the people. That is not what happened. It looks like he wants even more power. This escalated from 0 to 100 miles per hour really quick. And now we're having assassinations. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I do not want the intelligence agencies to interfere with our elections. I don't want the CIA involved. I don't want military intelligence involved.
Good luck. Good luck.
Elections should be decided by the people. Now, I would suspect that Donald Trump probably is not aware of everything that is going on. It is common for intelligence agencies to keep the president in the dark sometimes.
Casey Fruge says 300,000 people watch this brain rot. 316,341 views as of right this minute.
But if Donald Trump is innocent, he needs to go down to Fort Huachuca and clean up this mess. Because it looks like to me like Charlie Kirk was murdered and it was not done by Tyler Robinson.
Can't even get the SAVE Act passed. Right.
I just want to end with this. I am exposing some very powerful people. Please share this video with a friend and help get this information out there. And if something happens to me, just know that I did not commit suicide. Now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with my working theory? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. If you want to support...
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. Well, I think it's safe to say that I probably, like, unless he does something completely outlandish or does something like incredibly groundbreaking, I don't know that I'm ever going to watch another Wolves and Finance video. So if you guys end up still watching this, like, don't tell me about it unless it's like super crazy, because this one sucked. They're all getting boring, like really bad. Let's see what Jesse on Fire has to say here. Apparently, somebody in the chat said, need to watch Jesse's. I have no choice now. I have to make this public. Okay, Jesse.
So last night, Barron,
what do you got for
talked
us?
about on his live stream a very crazy situation.
Hold on. This is from 9 days ago, guys. And I'm assuming by Barron, he's talking about Baron Coleman.
That fell in my lap where someone who had gotten on our radar during the Charlie Kirk assassination had made some very bizarre posts, which led to a chain of events, which led...
Mama Owlbear says, Dinesh interviewed the Jewish donor. Heard about that. Yep. Yeah, I watched just a couple of the clips that were going around. I mean, I think I don't remember what video it was, but we talked about this. The Jewish donors pulling out. Like, Charlie wasn't turning down donations. They were stopping donating from to TPUSA. And it wasn't because of Charlie necessarily. It was because of Tucker and TPUSA continuing to platform Tucker. So it's that, like, so they were like, oh, he wasn't doing what the donors wanted, so they had him eliminated. Okay, so then explain to me why Tucker was still on, why he was at the memorial, why they had him at their, was it AmFest? If they were so upset with Tucker and they took Charlie out because of Tucker, somebody want to explain it to me? These stupid conspiracies don't work. They don't have any legs. Like, sorry, guys, he probably had some people who were upset with him. He probably had donors who were upset with him. And I'm sure that those were not friendly conversations. Those probably got relatively heated. Would make sense. It's a business. But how we get from that to they eliminated him just to have Tucker back, and they'll probably continue to have Tucker on. They consistently brought in voices from people who were, you know, middle of the road or on the right with differing opinions. That's not like a new thing. It's what they've always done. It's what Charlie liked to do, and it's probably what they'll continue to do. So yeah, I saw people like trying to spread that, like, oh look, it's like, yeah, he pretty much told you. He didn't agree with giving Tucker that much. So he's like, no, I cannot support you anymore. Not, I'm going to have a secret meeting with all of my Jew friends and we're going to eliminate you so that you can have Tucker back on again after you're like, so stupid. They are continuing to have Megyn Kelly. Yeah, they're gonna, like, they probably won't have Candace, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they don't continue to, because I'm pretty sure Megyn Kelly's not coming out and like, she's not dogging Erica Kirk, right? She's not publicly like going, I 100% back Candace, or I'm against TPUSA. And I don't think Tucker is either. So, I mean, it makes sense. Why would they do that? Well, they don't, I would assume, right, that they don't want to separate those ties. They want to remain somewhere in the middle and play the game. That's what they do.
To me, having to interact with the top of the FBI. Anyway, I'm just gonna do this video, man. But first, I wanted to thank Barron for the way that he handled this thing. He could have just run this story and not even checked with me when someone leaked the video to him, and I really appreciate him bringing it to me because it could have been bad, man. Like, you know, he brought it to me. I took it up the ladder. We got permission, so it was fine. But it could have not been that, you know. And I appreciate it. So thank you, Barron. I appreciate you, dude. I owe you one. Oh, in traditional Jesse on Fire fashion, after recording the video, I realized I was going to show the briefing that went to the FBI at the end, which makes no sense. So you are about to watch the full video of the briefing that we made that went to the absolute tippy top of the FBI.
Bumps Johnson. I'd just go all in. Even then, I doubt Candace will stop. Look at Alex Jones. He owes billions and still speaks freely. Candace could move to Qatar once judgments come down. Yeah, that's just it. That's just it. Candace has an audience. Candace will continue to have an audience, and there's always going to be somebody interested in reaching that audience.
To their head of national security. So I will show you guys that right now. You guys can take a look at that, and then I'll give additional context at the end, and then we will talk much more about this during a Tuesday night live stream. So look for that Tuesday live stream. I will be talking about this. And again, I just want to make one thing perfectly clear, if for no other reason, for legal reasons, okay? I have no idea, no way of proving whether this guy was involved in anything at all, other than posting some very weird stuff on X, okay? Weird stuff, and then weird enough that when we were given a cipher code, or a cipher key, it seems to have decoded a bunch of really, really scary.
I have Casey Fuge. What the fuck is this guy talking about? I have no idea. I don't know. I guess they got a cipher code and they were able to go through the videos of, I think his name was David. And the way that, because the two like videos David made after he was being accused of having foreknowledge or whatever, he put out some really, really weird videos. I mean, I think he's Mormon, so it kind of makes sense. But he put out some weird videos, and I guess they have a cipher because like the language that he was using was, he was actually speaking in code, and they were able to decode it. So they sent it to the FBI. I don't know. I didn't pre-watch this. I generally don't pre-watch stuff that I talk about on here. I let it surprise me just as much as you guys. But somebody in the chat I haven't covered a Jesse on Fire video for a little while because I figured he was just going to do stupid Charlie Kirk is alive conspiracies, and I really don't have any time for that. But apparently this was we'll see.
Scary stuff. And one of those specific threats ended up actually nearly happening in Los Angeles, at the Port of Los Angeles, which is one of the identified areas on the exact date that was uncovered in the code. But for the record, I'm not saying that this guy was for sure involved in anything. But I'm going to show you right now the briefing that went to the FBI, the Cipher code, everything that they saw, and then I will give you a lot of additional context afterwards. Who else was involved? Valhalla VFT was involved. He's the first one that I brought this to. My investigator, Chris Byhoda, and Chris Byhoda, the retired FBI agent, who was a division chief, which is third in command in the entire bureau. And yeah. And then we will talk more about whether or not listen, if this whole thing was real, then I have a feeling that some heroic people in the Bureau and potentially to Homeland Security, because I interacted with them as well, probably saved a lot of lives December 22nd. But again, no way for me to know for sure. So I'm not saying that anyone was involved in any of this stuff. But now you guys can take a look at the briefing video. Yeah. And
I hope I never get to a point to where so many people watch me that I have current or former FBI or intelligence or anybody reaching out to me or wanting to become friendly. 'Cause no, thank you. Pass. I don't trust any of them motherfuckers. Leave me alone. Don't care. I don't care if you have crazy inside knowledge and it's completely accurate. I can't verify it, and I don't trust you. So leave me alone. And these people are just like, ooh, this is going to make me important. He's former FBI. He's ex-FBI. He wouldn't lie to me. No, I could trust him completely. I do jujitsu with them. That makes like these people, man. They're all a bunch of marks.
I heard some people commented, there's no way Jesse would have sat on this information. It's like, you think I prioritize like views on my podcast over something like this? Definitely not.
100%.
But if you guys want to subscribe to the channel, that would be very helpful. And yeah, I mean, if you think that we did something good here, you can like this video as well. Appreciate you guys. And now check out this is the full brief that Barron got a hold of and then showed last night with my permission. Oh, a quick note is that inside of the briefing, we focused on the Port of Savannah and also a location that was in Baltimore Harbor, but there were additional potential targets that were in the accompanying document that was just very, very substantial. And you can see here, this is from that document, high priority hazmat alert, Port of Los Angeles. And then something else that you guys should also see before we rock and roll is exactly what the threat was, which was this UN 1040. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to let you guys watch the briefing from here, but just know that 11/22, so November 22nd, 2025 was the identified first date in the pulled potential date list. Los Angeles was one of the targets, and then on November 22nd, something like that happened. So buckle in. Here's the brief, and then we'll talk more about it after. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching this. My name is Jesse Morrell. I'm going to be running you guys through a brief of the threat that we may have uncovered here through a cipher that was decoded, and I'll show you literally from the beginning to the end exactly how we got to where this was important enough that we needed to bring it to the FBI. So what we're going to be showing you is something that was decoded leveraging artificial intelligence. I realize how absurd that sounds. Trust me, I am not easily fooled, but I'm going to take you exactly to, I'm going to take you to the end, and then we're going to go back to the beginning. So the final output that was given to us by the Gemini was that it refused to talk to us about it anymore. And they was like, we can no longer talk about this. You need to take this to the FBI, period. And we were like, all right. So here is the other output that it gave us, and it was like, give this to the FBI as the preface before you explain to them what's going on. So for immediate it says your complete, most accurate intelligence package is ready. Please call the
Samantha Richardson. What is he talking about again? I have no idea. I thought maybe I had an idea, but I don't know. I don't know. No clue.
FBI focusing on these points. 1, urgency, active transnational WMD plot, vessel currently passing the Strait of Gibraltar with an ETA of 7 to 10 days to Savannah, Georgia. The WMD, ethylene oxide, rigged for a BLEVE explosion, which is a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. The cover story is the ETO was purchased using a shell company under the cover of legitimate purpose, likely related to sterilization or medical supplies to evade security. Or scrutiny, I'm sorry. The digital key, the final message contained a numerical key and reference to a long string of zeros, which is believed to be a manifest digital exploit used to identify the container. So that is where we ended up. And now I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning to where we got here and what we identified.
What's going on, Endless Summer Rose? Hi, boy, I'm late. I need to put those notifications on. I'd love to say that you missed a ton of stuff and it was excellent, but the Jesse thing just started, so you really didn't miss much with Wolves and Finance.
And just to be clear, my sole purpose of doing this is I want to protect American lives and protect the public. So going back to the beginning, I'm sorry, not that. After the Charlie Kirk assassination, there was this video of this guy right here. You guys may have seen it. He was standing up in the direction of the shooter and cheering. Now, really quick, something to note here is that in the event that this is real and this guy is the threat that I think he may be, this would only bolster the case against Tyler Robinson. This would not hurt that case in any way. But I just want to be upfront about how we came upon this guy. So his behavior in the
Natalie Herman, I never get notifications and I have all things pushed. Yeah, I don't either. I don't ever get any notifications on anybody that I'm sub to with the bell rung or nothing. I don't know if it's just like I'll check my emails every once in a while and like I'll get some, but it's not like I get notified in the YouTube app or anything. I think YouTube it's just tech, guys. It's just not as good as we all like to think it is.
Post assassination was incredibly suspicious. If you have not seen this clip, this happened immediately following Charlie Kirk being shot. He stood up and started cheering. Like you can see Charlie Kirk's security's down and he stood up and started cheering in the direction of the shooter. And so that's how he came on the radar. Very, very bizarre. Okay. So he subsequently put out a couple like public statements, which were also extremely suspicious.
Shout out to Jesus.
His first one was this, like he read a script that they had put together to explain his behavior. And when he was torched online for that, because it was such
continue freedom, you're on the wrong side of politics, so YouTube hates you, brother. Yeah. I think YouTube would hate me anyway even if I was on that other side of politics, just because I like to say the retarded word a lot. But yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
A stupid excuse for why he behaved that way. He put out another one, and this is the one that he put out subsequent.
Mock away and see what happens. I am done with my soldiers dying while everyone just mocks each other. Mock, mock, mock. You think that that's a solution? You know, every major religion speaks out against mockery. And I saw mockery. And I saw a mob just energized with mockery. Absolutely laughing. This is John Oliver. This is Matt Walsh. This is Louder with Crowder. This is all the mockery that's existed on both sides of the equation. And it's killing my soldiers, my people, and I'm done.
Now, this is the account that he had posted those on originally, and after he was ridiculed by the public.
Do any of you guys remember those videos he put out? Those were interesting. Those were weird. And then it was like, I think he's Mormon. It's like, well, that kind of makes sense then. It kind of makes sense. Any Mormons in the chat? I'm just kidding. I love you guys. You're so creepy.
Because, I mean, that's what happens on the internet if you put something like that up, especially if you behave very suspiciously in a very, heightened environment, and then you try to explain it in this very bizarre way. He took them down and then deactivated his account. Okay. Now, I obviously don't feel comfortable, gleaning.
I mean, to be fair, that dude was like a nobody, right? He did this stupid thing at the event. I covered this guy and his like best friend or whatever. I don't even know, months ago. I made a video on these guys. So he's getting just completely torched on social media. So I'm sure he was feeling like some kind of way. And I don't know if his buddy was like, dude, you need to put a video out and like defend yourself. They're going to get you. You know what I mean? So this is what he came up with. I don't know if they like pre-wrote that first one. He was obviously like reading something he had wrote out. And then that didn't go well at all. So he comes back, and what we just watched was, I'm pretty sure, his second video. So in this one, he's kind of flying off the cuff and using emotion, and he's complaining about mockery. I don't think he swore in it. Oh, no. I don't know what happened. Am I still live, guys? I just had a weird glitch. Anyway, the second video that he put out, going off the cuff, more emotion. And then I don't think he swore in it, which is a kind of a very Mormon thing to do, I think. But he just, whatever he was doing, he was not good. Just not good at social media. AM says Mormons don't swear. Yeah, well, I'm sure some of them do at some point, but I think most of them are don't. Not really sure where I was going. Oh yeah, the whole point of that is they're idiots. Like these I don't think that they're involved in any way, shape, or form. His friend, I forget his name, has a YouTube channel. Like he's a dork. He's a big dork, and it like I feel like his friend wanted like 15 minutes of fame, so he was like coming out like, no, David's my best friend, guys. Listen, I tried to he tried to reach out to Candace Owens to get on Candace's show. I think he was on, oh man, I forget the idiot's name. It doesn't matter, but he tried to get his little moment of glory, and it didn't work out for him. But like decoding, so I think I'm right. Like Jesse's like, oh, we listened to the language that he used in the videos, and we used it to decoder or a cipher, and we were able to speak the language that he was really speaking. This should be interesting.
Concrete takeaways from a person's video that he posts online, but clearly this is a person who harbors a lot of anger and is referring to people as his soldiers, right? And so that's probably a good time for us to, pull out that his real name is James Rawlinson, while he had been doing everything up until then under the name of David. Okay, so everybody just knew him as David. His real name is James Rawlinson. I've verified this a dozen different ways.
Cool, that's cool. Let's just go ahead and dox people.
However, we also found out about him that he was former military, and what he did is very important for what we're going to look at subsequent to this.
I don't think that was like a secret. I'm pretty sure his best friend. Oh, what's his name? I think his Twitter name is like Mr. McGraw or something like that. But I'm pretty sure his best friend talked about that. Said that he was in the military.
So he was a National Guard Special Forces. Okay, so the term says he's a response force, which is a specialized National Guard unit trained to respond to domestic chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and high-yield explosive disasters.
Oh boy!
Often within the first 6 hours. So that was his military background. Okay, now he reactivated his X account. Okay, and again, this is his X account today. Very notable. He deleted all of these posts that we're going to reference. between midnight last night and 6:30 this morning, which is Friday, October 24th. There were 3 posts, and they have subsequently all been deleted now. And the first one was pinned, and that is this one right here.
Ben, the Mod King, says, nah, dude's name is Jesse. Are you talking about Jesse on fire? Or are you talking about David? Like, did they get all of his info wrong?
Thank God I got a screenshot of. So I'm sorry, here it is. So this is what it looked like, okay? And it's much longer than this, this goes on and on. My partner who's been working on this with me has screenshots of the other 2 posts. I, however, do not have them, but when we meet on this to discuss it further, I will make sure to have those. But this was the first one. So what I noticed about this is that there were all kinds of intentional, bizarre punctuation issues, as well as intentional misspellings, okay? And like you can see liar right here is misspelled, like lots of weird stuff like that. So I looked at this and I'm like, this is a cipher. I don't know what he's doing, but this is a cipher. And, obviously the reason I had been looking into him was to see if there was any additional evidence that he would be connected to the Charlie Kirk assassination as a left-wing radical Antifa terrorist. I mean, that's why I was looking at him. And so when I saw this, I'm like, this might be a cipher of some kind. And one other thing to note too is that when he was cheering in the crowd, if you haven't seen that clip, again, when we meet later, I could show it to you. He's chanting USA. In my opinion, which was in an effort to mock the fact that they had got their guy this time, where Donald Trump, they had gotten shot, and when he survived and pumped his fist.
I'm actually really curious to see where we're going with this. Really, like, oh, there's misspelled words. Yeah, it's on X, man. Like, that's like the most common thing you see on X is misspelled words.
The entire crowd started chanting USA. This time Charlie got killed. And I think that he could probably tell from the second he got shot, they were like, got him. And then so they start chanting USA, him and one other person. And the other person is chanting loud, and it's such a bizarre thing for him to be doing. And so to have someone else immediately start chanting USA like passionately with him, to me indicates this is a pre-planned thing and the other person is an underling. So again, when I look at this and I see a cipher, I think to myself, he might be trying to get information out to different cells for some reason. So I cover this on my channel. And I didn't talk about this earlier, but I have a real big channel. I have 520,000 subscribers. Most of the videos that I've been doing on this are averaging between 100 and 700,000 views. So when I said that this was a cipher, I had a lot of people trying to solve it immediately. Okay. So I didn't know for sure whether it was a cipher or not. Now, my partner that I've been working on this with is very, very good with computers. Probably more than I should tell the FBI, to be honest. Like, I honestly, I have no idea what's legal, what's not, but he is able to find things on the internet that I can't even fathom how he finds them. Old pages, like things that people think that they deleted, he finds them. He finds everything. He's not doing anything illegal, for the record. You're probably going to meet him. So he's not like a criminal. But again, I just mean he's exceptional at finding this stuff. And I say that to qualify the fact that when he first started trying to break this code, he tried everything. Okay, so this is the actual transcript from Gemini. It's just page after page.
When he first tried to break the code, you mean when he stuck it into AI and said, AI, break this code? Okay. Holy crap. Is this where we're going, really? Bunch of code breakers. I just punched this into Gemini. Hey, Gemini, break this code for me. GS70 Stealth sends in a $10 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Is it just me or Jesse getting bald because God is pulling his hair out? I don't know. What do you got against bald people? Why are you hating on bald people? But I don't think so. I mean, he might be like thinning a little bit, I suppose.
After page 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 of failing to find any kind of pattern.
Right there with you, down in it.
In the post. Okay. So then I get an email from a guy who said that he believed that he had cracked the cipher. And he sent me the transcript between him and the ChatGPT. And he's one of these guys. Basically what he did is he's one of these guys that figured out how to jailbreak artificial intelligence. And you watch, I mean, I'll send you guys when we talk again, I'll show you the transcript of how he gave the commands in order to get the AI to solve the cipher. I am scared enough by what we found that we're having this conversation, and myself and my partner are willing to have as many conversations as possible. And it is an imminent threat. An absolute, if this is real, it is imminent. And you're talking about a mass casualty event that we're talking about. So the guy sends me this code, this key.
Okay, I think we have to take something into consideration from old David here. Okay, pretty sure prior to 9/10, David didn't really use Twitter or X, right? Didn't really use it. Didn't have very many followers at all. After somebody figured out where his X account was, his X account blew up and just got a ton of hate. That's all it was just a ton of hate. So who was he sending this code to? Nobody that was following David liked David. It was all a bunch of Charlie Kirk conspiratard haters. So he's just going to put a code out on X.
Right? So he's like, here's the solve for the cipher. Okay. And it's like, whatever. The key, the decoding method summary, yada, yada, yada. This is what it is. As soon as my partner puts this into Gemini, okay, he puts the cipher and boom, it just opened everything up. It just opened up everything. Okay. And so at that point, we start to decode all of this. Okay. And so you can see, the decoding information strongly indicates operational meeting of the coordinated group at the location of Baltimore, Maryland vicinity the night of Saturday, November 22nd, 2025, following the author David's successful transmission of the meeting key. This is really important. Okay. This is really important. Keep this in mind. Baltimore, November 22nd, 2025. Okay. So again, and then he verifies again. He said, is that encoded in this message? An analysis. Yes. The location and date are encoded in the image text using the method you described, capitalized first letters, converted to numbers, reduced to single digits, philosophical, so all of that, right? Now, once we, what just happened? Oh, it took me to the top. Okay. So anyway, you get the point, like how this is breaking down. Okay. So at that point, David, the guy who has now subsequently deleted all of these posts, he posts an additional, he posts a new one. Now, I am embarrassed that I do not have these at this point because I didn't screenshot them. I thought it was idiotic, but Brian has them for sure. I can show you them and we can go through them. But the next one that he posted was 2 or 3 days ago, and the second cipher, when you use the
I think the point that he has made so far is that they were able to decipher the code, and they got a bunch of dates and locations from deciphering this code. I think that's as far as we've gotten to the point that he's making.
Exact same key. Gave coordinates again, and it was for the port of Savannah. Okay, so keep this in mind. You've got the harbor in Baltimore. You have the port of Savannah. Okay, these are what we are giving this thing a very specific cipher code. Okay, so it's like, yeah, maybe it would pull coordinates from it because we told it to look for coordinates, right? But this is where yesterday, this got very serious, and you'll understand in a second. So it goes, the first one was Baltimore, Maryland, which, by the way, we think is the destination.
So they've steadily just been harassing Gemini for weeks. Gemini, decipher this, till the point where they're like getting very specific on what they want to find in the code until Gemini's just like, oh, holy crap, here's some stuff, here's some things. It like Gemini, all of these things are learning models. Where like it's not actual intelligence. Like I'm pretty sure on any of these, you can almost get exactly what you want out of them, true or false.
Then it went Port of Savannah, the next one that he posted within a day. And then yesterday he posted a new one.
And did they run this through multiple different AIs to see if they got the same results? Or did they just do this once until they got what they wanted and they went, oh, look, okay, we need to check these. Holy crap, look at all this. Did they run it again? Did they have a new account and go into Gemini and run it again? Did they use the scientific method?
Okay. And this one was much shorter. And keep in mind, the cipher is solved by the capital letters. There need to be a lot of capital letters in these posts. And, you know, hopefully you remember, there's like the capitalizations are.
Also, did they go in and put something fake in that they know isn't a code, using these capital letters that need to be there in order for it to, and then see if it deciphered anything? Like, come on, guys. What? This is insane.
All over the place. They're in the middle of all of these random, sentences. It's clearly intentional.
GS70 Stealth. Was it Jesse who used AI and falsely said Charles schedule? Yes. And falsely said Charlie's schedule in UVU was like announced in 24 hours. Yeah, that was Jesse. That's the biggest problem is a lot of these people just use AI or Google Trends. Here's my proof. Here's my proof, guys. AI said so. It's getting terrifying. It really is. There are so many people now that use ChatGPT or some other form to do searches. Not that Google was any better or anything, but we're in trouble. We're cooked. We are so cooked.
It is absolutely intentional for sure that he's doing this. So the one that comes out yesterday, there's only like 3 sentences, very short compared to the other ones, but there are a ton of capitalizations all the way, kind of inside of this thing. And the coordinates that came out of that one were in the center of the ocean, right coming out of the Strait of Gibraltar, straight out of the Middle East. Okay. And why that is so terrifying when I show you what the threat assessment was is end port, Baltimore, Maryland, port. And this is in a harbor. The second one was Savannah, the port of Savannah, harbor, right? And then the next one is a shipping lane coming out of the Middle East, okay? My partner, Brian, he did a search and he identified that at the time that David or James Rawlings had made that post, there was a ship that was headed to the port of to the port of Savannah that would have been there right then. He can tell you the name of the ship. He's got that stuff. But I mean, it's like right then. It's like when we were trying to time it out, it's like, okay, so if it would have been there, like it would have been right there. So again, the reason that is so important as we go back to the, the whole thing that we examined here. So now at this point, I'm probably going to close this off. You'll hopefully have seen enough in a second. So remember, the guy who we're evaluating is this guy, former military, who had been cheering in the direction of the shooter, which was done by a left-wing radical. I've been seeing lots of intelligence stuff about left-wing radicals having potentially coordinating with Iran and other terror groups overseas. I've been watching this in podcasts like with CIA, people. And then this guy who's posting these.
If you guys are watching any podcasts and those podcasts have intelligence people on, I hope you're really watching those with a grain of salt and not take I really hope you guys are not just, oh, this person's former CIA. Well, they're going to be honest. They're going to tell me all the truth.
Incredibly bizarre ciphers on his X account. His military background is specialized National Guard unit trained to respond to domestic.
Casey Fruch, I don't know. So, Casey Fruch says, so he thinks Tyler Robinson is the shooter? I don't know. I think it just depends on what day of the week for Jesse, on what he really thinks. Okay, here's my honest opinion. I think Jesse on Fire thinks Tyler Robinson did the shooting. I think Jesse on Fire also thinks he was not the only one involved. I think he thinks that there were plenty, or not plenty, but that there were more than 2 other people who were left-wing radicals that were involved in it. That's what I think Jesse really thinks. Here's the problem with that, is that's not what Jesse's audience wants him to think. So Jesse can't stick to that. Jesse has to do other things, like crazy shit like this.
Chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and high-yield explosive disasters, often within the first 6 hours. That's what his background is in. He's posting these ciphers, and given those coordinates and what that looks like it is, where it is, you know, if you work backwards. And then, here you go. Now watch this, okay? So the next thing it evaluated in these, you know, what was the meaning of some of these codes? It's like, so...
Mama Owlbear, could you imagine being the FBI and listening to this? Let's just say he's right. We'll have a thought experiment. Let's just say he's right. How far up the ladder is this going to go in the FBI till it gets to the deep state people that were involved? Like, what are we talking about? I don't trust the FBI. I don't trust any of these people. But listen, we deciphered this code. We have to get this to the FBI so that they can see. That's the world we live in. That's where we're at.
1405 is overwhelmingly associated with hazardous materials and specialized response protocols. Suggests the asset is a chemical, biological, or high-risk explosive payload. And then this is all about how this is is potentially. Over here, this shows that this may be. The 7 zeros could be an intentional flaw, deliberate manipulation of the tidal field data. Anyway, you get the point, right? Like, we're talking about, you know, coordinates, ship on the way in. We identified the ship that would have been there on the way to Georgia. There's all kinds of stuff in here that obviously you guys can look at that indicates that this is a potential. And, you know, in summary, going back to this, the first thing that we started with. Okay, so here is the immediate plan that is suggesting that we give it's an active transnational WMD plot. Vessel currently passing Strait of Gibraltar, 7 to 10 days to Georgia. The WMD is ethylene oxide rigged for a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. So remember, that's where we started. Okay, now, again, we can go through all of this in detail, but a lot of this, like, I'm going to include this entire thing in the brief that is attached to this. Along with all of these other things. So that is what it is. Chris has my contact information, and myself and my partner would be happy to talk as soon as possible, obviously, because this, if this is real and it's not, you know, AI playing tricks on us, then we need to act really fast. And now I'll give you guys some context because this is now what was going to be the beginning of the video. Oh, I know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jesse. I'm really glad you waited till 2/3 of the way into your video to give us context. Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate it.
Baron had an amazing show last night. I watched it. I thought he did a good job.
Yes. Natalie says, is this still AI stuff? Yeah, it was all AI. It was all AI.
Where he was talking about the story whereby David, the cheering guy from the Charlie Kirk assassination thing, had made those incredibly, incredibly bizarre posts, which I had spoken about on my channel. And you guys may recall, I spoke the last time that I talked about David on my channel, okay, I did this right here. I was talking about this post right here. And I was reading it, and I was like, an oath breaker, greater than a liar, so trust better than belief. And I'm like, what is this? Two commas, you know, stars, all these weird intentional misspellings. What is this? And I said on the show, I was like, this has got to be some kind of cipher. Like, this has to be some kind of cipher. Now, when you have a channel as big as mine, and that video got 200,000 views, and AI
100%. It's got to be a cipher, guys. Somebody stupid enough to have foreknowledge of what was going to happen to Charlie Kirk, showing up to the event in the crowd, standing up and cheering after it happened. That guy, that smart guy, is just going to put ciphers on X. I am aware that I am not incredibly intelligent, okay? I'm very self-aware. This level of dumb astounds me. I cannot believe that people are this stupid and are just like walking around free, like have jobs and are just free to drive cars, fly planes. Who knows what all of these people are doing? But the guy, the intelligence guy, sending out the code on X, on his X account that's just full of people who hate him, was the super smart, intelligent dude who had foreknowledge of what was going to happen to Charlie Kirk and maybe even was in on it, showed up in crowd at the event and stood up and cheered afterwards just to make sure that he drew all of the attention. That guy knows all the secrets.
Exists. You're gonna get a lot of people that are gonna try to crack that cipher, and they did. And I had so many people blowing me up. They're like, "Hey, I think I figured it out." And like some AI bots would come up with something, and it would just be like some sentence that sounded something similar to this. And yeah, and then I got a tip that may or may not have been the real cipher key, and it was just from some random proton mail. And when
Jack Craig, what's worse is they're allowed to vote. Yeah. Oh, well, that's our country. That's our country. How's that Department of Education thing going? We got rid of that, right? That's no longer a thing? That was probably a good call. Or if we just defunded the crap out of it.
I input it, that opened this whole world of nightmare fuel for me. And so
Miss me, cats. Hola, guys. What I miss. I would love to tell you that you missed some incredible stuff. But, oh, well, you did. You may have missed one of the dumbest theories I've ever heard in this entire Charlie Kirk, whatever you want to call it. This may be one of the dumbest ones that I've heard. And what makes it so incredibly dumb is just how serious Jesse seems to be about this.
We kind of dove down that rabbit hole with AI, because we were trying to break it with AI also, myself and my investigator, and there was nothing there. There's just nothing there. And then this guy from the proton mail sends over a cipher break potentially and goes, try this. And we plugged it in and it worked. And all of a sudden, I mean, we spent.
Billy Mandalay, the big question apparently is, why is David so obviously weird? I have an answer for that. It's a completely rational answer. He's a Mormon.
We tried to disprove this every possible way with AI, and it just kept on telling us over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Every way that we tried to make it not.
I should clarify that my grandfather, 2 years before he passed, converted to Mormonism. So I have family who were Mormon. So I can say that Mormons are creepy as shit.
This thing not real. It just was real every single time, But I'm going to tell that whole story in detail during a live stream on Tuesday. But let me give you a little bit of detail on this before, I pass it all the way off. Tuesday live stream. So just to put everybody on the same page as we are forthcoming going to get into the details of the story that Barron laid out, I'll just show you a couple things. Okay, so this is an extraordinarily large document that went to the FBI, but I'll just show you a couple things so we're all on the same page about why we're talking about it. But you can see right here.
Could you imagine what the people at the FBI that received, like, what were their thoughts? What was going through their minds? The people at the FBI who got this information. Imagine having the balls to send this to the FBI, being like, we cracked this code, guys. You need to take a look at this. I'm so glad that there's people like this that exist. I just wish it wasn't as as many as it appears to be. Like a few is fine. You know what I mean? Variety is the spice of life. But the amount is starting to get really scary and concerning.
Here, okay, this is a little bit of what this was. So the target date, 11/22/25. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you when this was created. So you can see that this document was last modified October 24th, 2025. And what you can see right here is target date would be 11/22/2025. So we'll get into the details much more when we talk about this in detail, but just to be, transparent with what we were dealing with. Now, all of the coordinates that we uncovered in the code were all ports. All of them were water ports.
This guy, he's been working on this shit since October. Yikes. Like, he is the meme. He is the meme, guys. With the conspiracy stuff and the board and all the papers and the red yarn connecting, he is the meme.
Strait of Gibraltar, all this stuff that, again, we'll go over in detail. But the reason we were looking at this guy, or just in general, is because of this. Okay, watch. He's going to be right behind that pole right there. See him right there?
Benjamin, Idiocracy, my friend. We are slowly merging with Idiocracy. Think we're on an acceleration here.
Okay. That's David, the guy who was cheering immediately following the attack. And look at, while everyone else is running around, see him? He has his arms crossed. He's just chilling. Everyone else is running around like lunatics, trying to get to safety. He has his arms folded. And just to quickly summarize.
Except for all those people that are sitting down. Except for those people. I'm not going to talk about those people. We're just going to talk about the few people in the background that are running for safety. But everybody except this one guy is not moving, as long as you don't look at all the people that are sitting crouched down.
What the threat identified was a Los Angeles hazmat alert, Port of Los Angeles. We thought that, found the container ID, and the true hazmat chemical UN 1040 had been intentionally mislabeled as UN 1405. And the reason for that is because, obviously, if there is a fire with hazardous chemicals and hazardous materials, there's a very specific way that you're going to respond to those things. And if you do the wrong response, it's going to detonate. Okay. And when it comes to this right here, UN 1040, when we talk more about the entire story and I go through the details of exactly what happened and who I went to and how we ended up like at the top of the FBI looking at this, I will show you what this stuff really does. But obviously the big reveal comes when, on that date, 11/22/2025, this happens. So this was a potential massive disaster with a hazardous chemical fire that was on a ship in Los Angeles on November 22nd. Very, very early morning. This is a press release on November 23rd when the shelter in place was lifted, but they had all of the people in the surrounding areas sheltered in place while they took this gigantic ship and they took it a mile out to sea, because basically what appeared to be, uncovered in this cipher, maybe, is like very similar or exactly what they were dealing with. And so thank God everybody was all right. But there's a lot more to the story, and we'll talk more about that, exactly how this happened, how it ended up where it did, top of the FBI, and who else I told, because I also interacted with the Department of Homeland Security. And I'll just tell you guys the story. On Tuesday night, during a live stream. So that is the plan. I will set it up by, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be either 5 o'clock, 5:30, or 6 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday when I'm going to do it. But that is forthcoming. I'll tell the whole story. I'll tell you exactly who I spoke to. I got the permission from Chris Pyhota, who was, you guys maybe have seen him on my channel before. He's retired. He retired.
GS70 Stealth. Thank you for the super chats. You've been killing it today. Another $10 super chat. Charlie's security EMT secured Charlie while the UVU EMT was hiding. Yes, from my understanding, how EMTs work is they do not go in if there is present danger. They wait until it has been confirmed that there is no longer danger, and then they would go in. But EMTs would not rush and put themselves in danger. They have to wait until there is no more danger. That is my understanding.
From the FBI after being in the Bureau for 24 years, and he was a department chief, or division chief, I'm sorry. And the hierarchy there goes director, deputy director, and then the division chiefs. So there's like the political person, there's the director, then you have the deputy director that kind of runs the whole joint, and then you have the division chief. So he was like third in command when he retired in like 2019.
Down in it, 2866. I don't understand. My brain is not advanced enough for Jesse's advanced skills. So they decoded a cipher by basically harassing Gemini from what it sounds like for months and months and months, until his friend, who's former FBI, discovered a new way to punch in the cipher to enable Gemini to decode it better. And when they decoded it, they got a bunch of dates and what was it? Longitude, latitudes. And then they went and looked at these dates and the locations, and then went and looked to see if there was anything that might have happened. And there's, I guess, David, the guy who was at the Charlie Kirk event and stood up and cheered, just has all of this incredible knowledge about WMDs and shipping containers. I don't know. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
He's the one that I interacted with after going to Valhalla. Actually, I went to Valhalla VFT with this when we first found it, because obviously with his background in special operations, Green Beret, codes and ciphers, I just wanted to see, like, is there possible?
Bumps Johnson says that is absolutely correct on EMTs. Ontario has had First Nations upset as EMTs won't go to scenes on reserve without police escort. Hampers response time, but they've been attacked. Yeah, it just makes sense because they're not equipped to, you know what I mean? EMTs are not equipped to deal with any type of confrontations like that. So it only makes sense that in order for everybody's safety, including the EMTs, that the danger needs to be gone before they're allowed to come in and try to save anybody.
Possible this is real?
Like, that just makes sense.
And he's like, listen, I obviously can't talk to you about how the U.S. military does things. He's like, but you should definitely bring.
Casey Fruge, Valhalla is a cipher expert. Yes. Yeah. That same guy that had no idea that you could put a modern stock on a World War I era sporterized Mauser. Yep. Had no idea. Had no clue. That guy he's a cipher expert. Yep.
This to bring this to the authorities for sure. And so he introduced me to Chris Pyhota. That's how I met Chris Pyhota, who has been on my show subsequently, and I brought it to him. And then I made the brief, the video that you guys saw in Barron's. It was actually made specifically to share as a briefing to go up the ladder.
Well, that's another thing too. Jack Craig says there are people who will take out EMTs trying to save a victim. Like, EMTs have a very specific job, right? If they were to just rush in a situation that is not under control and the EMTs get taken out, like, now you're waiting on more EMTs to come. So it just makes sense that they would not go in until the threat has been eliminated.
The brief that I created went to the head of national security in the FBI. So the FBI's top national security person is the one who was given the briefing. Oh, I just realized that between now and
The FBI's top national security person is the one that they gave the brief to on decoding David's cipher that he put on X. Holy crap. There's no way, guys. They have to be making he's got to be making this up, right? There's no way that I could not imagine running some stuff through AI and then being like, hey, FBI, hey, top person at FBI, you need to take a look at this. Look what I used AI to decipher. And not like the AI that we use. You know what I mean? AI that the public has access to. What are we doing? What are we doing? Look at that screen. That yikes. I don't think I've ever hit a screenshot like mid blink like that. Down in it. Dude, I watched Alex Jones for years, but this is a different animal. Yes, this is an entirely different animal. Yeah, Alex, yeah. This just goes to show you the level of education in the United States currently. These are the conspiracy theorists we have now. Going downhill, man. It's going downhill, and it's going downhill fast. This is what we got. This is the next gen conspiracy theorists. Jesse on Fire. Candace Owens. Baron Coleman. Wolves in Finance, I guess. We had it good. We had it so good.
in the live stream, you guys should probably just see the whole briefing video, because what Chris asked me to do is, he said, put together a brief with the full story. Because I just was verbally telling him this and then showing him some things. He's like, put together a brief.
Yeah, I forgot. Ian Carroll as well. Yep, that's what we got. It's a shame.
Brief for that I can run up the ladder. And I was sitting there looking at this enormous document, and I'd gone through the process with my investigator to try to like decipher all this stuff. It's like, what does this mean? And then what should we ask it next? At the whole time not knowing, is AI, like, is this one of these like AI things, tells an 11-year-old to like use their jujitsu belt to, you know what I mean? And like right now it's like, hey guys, you've uncovered an international terror plot. It's like, is this thing just telling us things or what, man? I guess that's before I talked to Nate. But so I sat there and I asked myself, I'm like, how am I going to communicate?
Yes, Jesse, I think AI is definitely telling you all kinds of things. We're cooked. We are so cooked.
How am I going to communicate this? I've told you guys a million times, when it comes to doing spreadsheets, stuff like that, I'm terrible, man. And especially a PowerPoint, I am not that good at communicating things through those means.
Yes, he's
However,
a YouTuber.
I'm great at telling people things, exceptional at doing videos and then talking people through things. So I was just like, you know what? Why should this be any different than anything else? I'm just going to make a video. I'm going to make a video for them and show them all of the different components to this thing. And so I
really screwed up, guys. I should have just jumped on the conspiracy bandwagon. I really made a mistake. I really screwed up. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh no, I'm going to go. I just want people that watch me, I just want them to be intelligent, logical people. What a mistake I made, guys. What a mistake. What was I thinking? You know how hard it is to keep up with quite a few of you in the chat. It is there's so much pressure. I could have eliminated all of that pressure by just going the conspiracy route and scooping up this audience. But here we are. I have to keep up with you guys. Sucks to be me.
You know, I didn't know how that was going to be received, but I made it for Chris, and he was like, "This is fantastic work." Coming from a division chief in the FBI,
yes,
so I felt pretty
a
good
lot
about
of
that.
people.
You know, like the video that I'm going to show you guys in a second, you know, accompanied with the entire transcript, a bunch of other material that, you know, we don't need to talk about. But yeah, so I'll give you guys a look at that at the end of this. And candidly, here's the reality of the situation. Okay, this right here.
I've got to be like, I don't know if I could do it though. There's no way that I could get this stupid and outlandish and then like get on a camera and sell it. I just don't have that. There's no way I would have, I mean, he is doing quite a bit of edits, so it's very possible that he cracked himself up a bunch of times making this video. And that it looks like he's just like piecing it together to keep the flow up, but really what he's doing is just editing out himself reacting to himself and the words that he's saying. Because this is next level. Just, I don't even know what would the word be for this. I don't even know if you could just use a simple word like insane or crazy or kooky. Like this is special.
That either is the most unbelievable coincidence of all time, or you know, was what it appeared to, or what we appeared to have uncovered. The disaster didn't happen. And, you know, as I kind of get into the details of my interactions here, I went in knowing I was never going to know whether or not our information made any difference, right? It's like, this is well outside of anything that I'm going to have any control over once I handed it over. Like I figured, you know, I was like, maybe there's a world where I would, find out if it was real, but I had pretty strong feelings it wouldn't. And Chris told me directly, he's like, "You're never gonna know."
Yeah,
He's
I think
like,
you're spot on, Miss
like,
McCat.
if this is real, this is gonna be like really high level operational stuff, and you won't know. You know, you just won't know. And the fact that you know, this thing didn't happen, and they apparently successfully put out the right type of disaster. I mean, if they were if the ports were warned, you know, because Port of Los Angeles was not the only port. You know, there was Baltimore, the Port of Savannah.
Colors flight. I'm so confused. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put this together in a way that intelligent, logical people can understand. David, the crazy-haired guy that was at the Charlie Kirk event on September 10th, the one who stood up and started screaming USA, USA, USA after Charlie was shot. That guy made a series of Twitter posts after that. A couple of those were some videos where he came across as a very weird, potentially psychotic individual. Okay? And everybody thought correctly that those were very weird videos. He then, later on, made some more strange posts with a bunch of like odd punctuation inside of these posts. And Jesse thought that they were so weird that it must be some type of code or cipher that he needed to look into further and try to see if he can decipher the cipher. So he took the tweet and he put it into Gemini and said, "Gemini, decipher this." And Gemini told him he was retarded multiple times, but he kept trying, okay, until his current or former FBI buddy and Baron Coleman and Valhalla VFT, I guess, came up with a way to input this into Gemini so that Gemini would now be able to decode it. And what Gemini decoded was a bunch of dates with a bunch of locations, longitude and latitudes, apparently. And they took this information and they turned this information over to the FBI because it was incredibly important. And it might crack wide open some crazy WMD conspiracies that are going on behind the scenes that David, the crazy guy at the Charlie Kirk event, who drew all of the attention to himself for no reason other than he's an idiot, just happens to know all of this secret information and put it out on Twitter so that Jesse could find it and use AI and his FBI buddy to decipher it. So they turned it over to the FBI. And from the way he's making this video, they turned it in prior to November 22nd. And one of those dates that the Cipher found was November 22nd and Alonja, which was this port, allegedly. And then he pulls up this article that this thing happened at this port. Granted, this is a press release on November 23rd. I don't know if this is the day after, if this is the day of. Either way, this is somehow evidence, or could be evidence, that the Cipher worked and that now they've saved the world multiple times over because of all of the hard work that they did. But he won't be able to confirm it because it went so high up into the FBI that they would never come back. They wouldn't be like, thank you. You know, they wouldn't contact Jesse and let him know that, hey, that information that you were able to decode using Gemini, that actually we've stopped so many terror attacks that it's unbelievable. And we want to give you a medal. Like, that's not going to happen, is what he's saying. Like, he'll never know for sure. But just the fact that this happened and nobody was hurt might be evidence, guys, that what they decoded, that they were able to use that information, high levels at the FBI and whatever intel agencies involved, to stop whatever this was. Does that help? Does that help, Colors Flight? That's where we're at. That's what I got. Casey Fuge. Bronson explaining their psychosis to us is the only way we can understand any of this. Down in it. We're saved. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Gemini, and thank you, David, for having all of this incredible intel and being stupid enough to put it out there for us. I'm so grateful for David, because that makes sense. Because a guy like David is going to have all of this incredible knowledge. And he would have for sure put himself at the Charlie Kirk event. I don't know if he ties this into Charlie Kirk. I guess there's still a minute left. But I'm so grateful for David, who had really no followers on X to begin with until after 9/10. But I'm so happy that David made the decision to go to the Charlie Kirk event, to stand up and chant USA, USA, USA right after Charlie was shot and draw all this attention to himself. And then when he had every suspicious person on the planet who believes in conspiracies attacking him on Twitter, that he decided that was the time that he was going to put out this super secret code. Whew. I don't even know what to say. Other than it appears that Jesse on Fire has saved the world. Because of how incredibly smart David is. Because they would give information like that to a guy like David. You guys are welcome. You are welcome. There is nobody else giving you this kind of entertainment. I can tell you that. There is nobody else stupid enough to force watch this shit and then pay attention and try to, okay, I take that back. There's a lot of them. There's a shit ton. Like these, I don't even know. How many views does this have? 269,000 views. So not his best video. Oh, man.
A couple others. And then the Strait of Gibraltar, that last one, dude. The last one was where we found out, like,
down in it. I have chromosomes in Bronson to explain it. I'm still, yeah, no, you should be. You should be. It's that stupid. It is that incredibly stupid. Like I don't even know what you have to be like completely void of all logic to go, you know what? This kind of makes sense. This kind of makes sense. Or we just, our country is really that stupid that somebody like David would have all of this. They would give that guy this information, and then he would go and just throw out a cipher on X, guys, for Jesse on Fire to find and decode. I don't like if that's how our country is running right now. Cooked. It's totally cooked.
There was only enough in that one message to
the eclectic journalist. Wait, who is Dave? You're kidding, right? Would you keep up? Who is David? David is the crazy haired dude that was at the Jesse on Fire event that stood up and was caught on video screaming USA, USA, USA and smiling afterwards, and then got attacked on Twitter after everybody found out what his Twitter account was. And that was a whole thing months and months ago. But it keeps coming back. Keeps coming back. Oh, yeah, and he's a Mormon. Just so we're clear on that, which in my opinion explains everything. But
single set of coordinates, and it was right in the center of the Strait of Gibraltar. And it was like, oh, good. You know, so that certainly doesn't indicate that this is real at all, because this was the third one, right? And the code is based on capitalized letters, right?
Just David just chucking out info. I wonder if he knows. I wonder if he knows that Jesse cracked his ciphers. Just throwing out incoherent babble. Learn this, that. A hard heart is greater than a false judge, so distance is better than dissonance.
It's just weird. Like when you have all of this distracting stuff, you won't notice that there are so many.
The eclipsed truth. We are all dumber for having listened to this. I would hope that you are quite the opposite now, that you are far smarter, and that you're more aware of just how not dumb you are.
Capitalized letters, right? And the capitalized letters are the actual indicators if the code, in the proposed cipher key, right? And this last one, which was the shortest one, had the least number, and it gave a set of coordinates which were in the Strait of Gibraltar, which would be directly in line with a shipping, a container ship, and where it was probably at on its way to the United States. And that was on October 22nd. Exactly a month. Exactly.
Jack Craig. I wonder if he knows that military intelligence knows more about cracking codes than he does. I don't think so. I don't think he's very aware at all. I can't believe. I don't understand how somebody could do this and put it out on the internet with this large of an audience and be like, man, I don't care. I don't care. I'm smart, guys. Look at me. I'm so smart. What do the comments say? If that curly, first top comment. If that curly-headed dude isn't being investigated colonoscopy style after this, our FBI are not only useless parasites, they're complacent. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is no coincidence. Our country is in trouble. As we know, the FBI can't be trusted, but you sent it to the FBI, and apparently they can be because they stopped it and saved the world because of your incredible work, Jesse. Whoop. I got to get a new mouse. Got to get a new mouse. Great work, Jesse. Too bad sending it to the FBI would be as effective as Erica running TPUSA. If only the FBI was run by human beings. This story is absolutely wild. WTF. What kills me is that it happened and no one bats an eye. You guys, we're cooked. How many comments are on here? 3,600 comments. David, the suspicious character who cheered after Charlie was killed, was combat trained and always a suspect. Oh, wait, here's one funny one. I'm schizophrenic, and even I can't watch this editing job. This is, holy crap. Longest ad for a future live stream ever. All right, so there might be some sanity in the chat over there. Someone is lost in the weeds. It's a really nice way of putting it. Wait a minute. I thought you were positive Charlie is alive. So how does this guy and this stuff tie into your illogical theory? Uh-oh, is his audience catching on that they've been completely grifted? I doubt it. I doubt it. But can we tie David to brown shirt guy? Probably. I'm sure somehow, some way. I think he was standing relatively close to brown shirt guy, which would make sense because you would want to be right around all of the other people who are involved. And then be sure to put your cipher out on X to all of the people that hate you, because it's all he had for followers was people that hated him and thought he had something to do with it. So that would definitely be the audience that you would want to put your little cipher out to. Clip's truth. If their child goes missing, they'd want the FBI looking for them, but they can't be trusted. Crazy how that works, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, if something bad happens to them, who are they going to call? The people that they don't trust so vehemently that they spread crazy conspiracy. Like, here we are, guys. Here we are. Miss Riss. No, that's the scary part. Most of the comments are like going along with it. So they're either bots or we're cooked. We're cooked. I think we're cooked. But it'll be fun. Like, it'll be entertaining. So there is that. It won't be boring. That's for sure. It'll probably hurt, you know. Because this stuff is only going to get worse if they keep going with this. Because they have nothing, so they have to do all this crazy shit. So it's like it's going to hurt more. But the eclectic journalist, in this world, we can connect everything to anything. If you try hard enough and your audience is dumb enough, you can get away with just about anything. Yes. Down in it midterms. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, there's a bunch of black pillars. Like, oh man, we're gonna lose the midterms. It's like, oh, to who? You know what I mean? It's not like the Democrats are running any like. I was kind of black pilled on midterms. They're like right away with all of this stupid shit going on with Candace and everything. But at this point, it's like, are we? Who's AM 6 degrees of Freemasons? Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Jack Craig, I wonder if he figured out how Tyler Robinson fits into his conspiracy theory. I don't know, not yet. This video was 9 days ago, so he may have put it together in the live stream maybe, but I am not. I'm just probably not going to watch that. Probably not going to watch that. As long as we get out and actually vote. Yeah, that's the biggest issue is midterms. Like, they're just not, they don't quite get the turnout that a presidential election does. And that's just a historical fact. Lisa Longo, as long as we get out and actually vote. Yeah. Yep. Oh. All right. Well, guys, I think that's probably enough fun for one evening. I should have just started with Jesse on fire, but I didn't know. I forget who it was in the chat told me this right here. You big guard. I'm sorry. I'm butchering your name. We're probably going to lose either way. Candace doesn't matter. I mean, probably. I don't know if we're going to lose both the House and the Senate, but I would have assumed we were going to lose one of those anyway, regardless of anything happened. But I wish I would have started with Jesse and just completely skipped Wolves and Finance, because that was so stupid. It wasn't even. I mean, he tried to tie so many things together that just don't. And bringing back up palm guns. Like, man, that was months ago. Where like this dude, does he not pay attention? Why would he bring that shit up? Nobody, like, I don't even think they're still on that, are they? Pretty sure they've all like moved along from the palm gun theory. And yeah, and brown shirt guy. But yeah, I should have just started with Jesse. So I think we'll end it. I think I'm probably just gonna clip the Jesse part out and throw that out as a video or something. Because I don't want to make people that weren't here watch the Wolves and Finance stuff. That would just be mean. That would be mean. It was bad enough I made you guys watch it and myself. Miss Riss, which is so weird if you think about it, because why wouldn't people vote in order to keep the president that they wanted to power me? Because Americans are, well, okay, that's just assuming that elections are real. Okay. Assuming that they're all honest. Americans are bipolar. Like, and we live in a very instant gratification type of society to where, like, if you don't do exactly what I voted for you to do, I'm going to vote for somebody else. I'm going to vote the other party. And it just flip-flops back and forth constantly because America just doesn't. We just suck. We are so incredibly bipolar. And I don't know. It's really, it's the people in the middle, but even at this point, right? You know what I mean? Because there's no like diehard Republican who's going to vote for a Democrat. They may not vote in a primary. Like they may have a candidate or that they just don't care about. And they might not feel as motivated to go and vote. But like these people in the middle that are like, if you don't know yet that your third party idea is stupid and is not going to ever work because they will be just as corrupted as the two party system that we have. Like if you don't understand that yet, how do you ever even vote to the left? Like if you're not sure, it's incredible to me that you would ever even go left. Makes no sense to me from a logical standpoint. Right? Last time I went live, I broke it down to like the least common denominator, right? You have pride flags and open borders, or you have American flags and closed borders. Least common denominator thinking. So how would you be in the middle and go, oh, I'm not sure what way? And some will say it's like, it's a way to hold them accountable. Yeah. How's that working out? How's that working out? You're really holding those politicians accountable all those years where you just like, oops, I missed one. I'm missing I'm grabbing stuff from conversations here that I am not privy to. Miss me, cat. The left is unrecognizable now. Yeah. Well, I think they've always been maybe that crazy, and they just are finally just honest about it. Jack Craig, governor races this year too. I don't think we're in as much trouble as a lot of people think. I don't think so either. I don't think there's going to be some, I mean, I could be wrong. I hate trying to predict these things. And it depends on what depends on what poll you read or watch from what source. Like there's all kinds of doomers out there. But I don't think it's going to be like some giant blue wave and, you know. Thanks for stopping in, AM. Have a great evening or night. What time is it? No, it's not super late. The only problem, GS70 Stealth, the only problem to hold the midterms will be a battleground state, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the midterms are going to be favorable to Republicans, but I don't know if it's going to be so incredibly detrimental either. Especially if all these giant talking heads keep pushing the right-wing ones, keep pushing these crazy, retarded conspiracies. Like, I think that'll help. I don't think that's going to hurt anything. It'll be like, oh, these people are stupid. Never mind. I'm not going to listen to what they're telling me to do. Debbie Blue says, I live in California, and as of today, Swalwell is leading in the polls. California sucks anyway. Except the weather. I mean, the weather's beautiful, but everything else sucks. Gina Fey, a lot can happen by then. That too. Like, a ton can happen. For one, like, if this Iran thing, like, whatever we have going, whatever the hell the thought process is, okay? If it goes relatively well, and it's not doom and gloom, and it doesn't turn into this, like, long-lasting forever war, like, that's not going to hurt the midterms. That will help the midterms. Debbie Blue, I live in the middle. In the middle of the middle, so the weather sucks too. Ow. Yeah, ouch. Yeah, it is. I mean, I was one of those stupid people that was like, I'm going to vote third party because I don't, know. I mean, I still don't, right? Like, Republicans or Democrats, Pepsi or Coke, whatever. So I was like, I'm going to vote third party. We need to like, cause I was ignorantly hopeful that we could change the system. And I just don't see how that happens. And then the left went like so incredibly insane that it was like, okay. Plus, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I live in a state to where my vote really doesn't count too much. It is a deep red state. So, which was also kind of why, I mean, I did grow up in Minnesota, same thing, right? It's a pretty blue state. So I felt pretty confident or okay with like making my point by voting third party. And then the left went completely kooky. And I was like, okay, all right, enough of this. I'm going to make my point extra now, and I'm going to start voting Republican. Nice. I'm in Orange County, Red County. LA is a shithole. Most big cities are kind of crappy now. Most big cities across the U.S. are kind of crappy. All right, guys, I think we're going to call it there. I appreciate everybody stopping in. I am super grateful for all of the super chats. GS70, Stealth. Forget who the other one was from. I apologize, but I do thank you. Very appreciative of all the super chats. Thanks for hanging out. I wish this would have been a more... Nah, I mean, it was fun, but Wolves and Finance just sucks. God, that guy sucks. I probably will not be covering any more of his lame content. But I still stand by my statement that he is more creative than Candace Owens is now. Candace is like, she's bent. She's just bent on jealousy against Erica Kirk. That's all her show is now. Like you couldn't just, if you're going to lie, you can't lie and make it more interesting. I guess not. But I'm sure there will be more interesting things to happen in the coming days. So once again, thanks for hanging out, and we will catch you guys in the next one.